work. Crazy. I mean, not even an hour after she got diagnosed, folks was trying to have Bible study, and I didn't want to. And he was like, "But you are, but you are. You're going to. So get ready. Come on." And was up till 1, 2, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know. I was like, "This is crazy. You just not even gonna let me get a break." I still gotta have a Bible study with people, and I just want to. No, I don't want to do this. Yeah, you be talking crazy. Nobody. No. Mm-mm. I'm trying to let these people know we not having class. I don't know what's going on. YouTube, we not. This is for educational purposes only. Can you please send out our notifications, please? It's ridiculous. Now, y'all make a ton of money off us. I'm sure. Can we get our people? Goodness gracious, we can't even tell the people we ain't even gonna have class. They don't even want to let us in. What is the? Hey, pumpkin. Hey, hey. I had to start the live, baby. Look, not only do I be having to fight the internet too. He is on his way to the hospital now, girl. Thank you. And that's why I was gonna tell y'all, if possible, maybe we can do the well. Maybe no, because I probably need to stay up. So maybe we will do it. I'm exhausted, and I probably won't hear the phone if I go to sleep. So maybe we will do it. I probably won't be if y'all want to talk about it. His arm is kind of crazy, and his leg is swollen. He can't really move his arm, so I mean, as far as everything else, he's okay, but his arm is something's going on with that, so he's gonna go to the emergency room. But his phone was dying. But y'all know how good God is. Why was it an attorney right there at the accident? Walked him through everything he needed to do, told him everything he needed to do, stayed there with him until he could figure out what was gonna go on with his car. And it was all these witnesses that was around my baby. Somebody went and got him some water from McDonald's and everything. Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. He hasn't gone to the hospital yet. You said, it's them folks. I think I swear someone pushed me down the steps earlier. Listen, I was just telling the class, hey y'all, that you said now I have a dent cut in my elbow and I hit my head. Now, can I tell you something was really crazy? Do you know that you were the last conversation that we had before he had his accident? And it's his elbow. He's holding his elbow. It's this part of his arm. And he has a knot on his leg. I promise you. I promise you. I was talking to him about you and telling him how smart you are and how I know if y'all ever talked, y'all would be good friends. Friends, right? I was like, I'm telling you. He was like, Mom, send me her information. Good friends. I can tell 100%. You said mine too. Oh, this is spooky, and my thigh is swollen from hitting the steps. Right, right. Literally, we literally talked about you, and then I was like, okay, boy, I'm about to get off of here. Hey, sister. And then both of y'all is, yeah. I literally told him that today. I was like, I would love for you all to have a conversation and just, like a pen pal. Yeah, real crazy. Very crazy. Very, 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 very crazy. I'm happy you okay. Yeah, girl. On his way to I ain't gonna say he good because he's in pain and like his last, but something is going on with that arm and his leg. But he getting ready to go to the hospital now. He said his phone was dying, so maybe I will let y'all keep my mind off of that. I'm not really gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just let y'all teach the class. Y'all okay with that? Me too. Girl, the enemy just be working. I'm telling you, that's all it is. You gotta understand that. You said reminds me of the book of Adam and Eve. They'll be praying and fasting, and the enemy pops up trying to throw them off course. It's not. Listen, listen. When I tell y'all, The enemy be on my head. And people like, oh, I don't work. Because you're not his enemy. That's why he don't be doing nothing to you. Y'all have known me. And 3 out of my 4 kids in the last 14 months then got in a car accident. Okay. No, I take that back. All 4 of my kids then had an accident in the last year because my youngest, she just had an accident at the fair last year, and the fair is right now. And she was leaving the fair and somebody ran into her. Yep. So all 4 of my kids in this year have had a car accident. And they don't live, they both live on opposite sides of me out of state. So, yeah, take that back. All 4 of them. But this is why you have to pray for traveling mercy. This is why you have to teach your children that's driving to anoint themselves before they leave, because it's, don't just be hopping in no car, just leaving. You pray that you get to where you're going, and you pray that you get home. Do you hear me? It's a real thing that needs to happen, because we just assume we gonna make it back. Well, that's not always the case. That is not always the case. It ain't. So I don't know. The enemy is busy though, and it's like he's never stopping. You know, and it's crazy not to be telling his business. But God had my baby on the fast for 3 days, y'all. This was the 3rd day of his fast. Tell me that's not crazy. I said, God, baby, this is why God had you fasting. Because it could have been worse. Cracked his windshield, everything. You know what I'm saying? It could have been worse. God had you fasting for a reason. Yes. He just told me, he was like, Mom, I don't know. God just got me on a fast, so I only been eating da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, well, make sure. Literally told him last night. I said, make sure tonight, since it's your 3rd day, you eat something good. Don't go eat no BS. Like, eat some vegetables, eat some rice, eat this. And he did. He went and got some kind of protein bowl or something. And get this, protein is good for your muscles, for repairing your muscles and all of that kind of stuff. So God even had him put something in his body. The last thing he ate last night is something that could repair part of what's happening with his body right now. Hello. So even before it happened, the last meal, just think if he would have ate some BS or something like that. You know what I mean? We don't even be knowing why God do the stuff that he do. But he come on. It's a real thing. He is. And he said, Mom, I think Grandma said last week or a couple of days ago that she had a dream that one of her grandkids got into an accident. I said, I believe it, because my mom is a dreamer as well. He's very intentional. He is. My mom is a dreamer as well. So I think, we don't always understand why God does stuff the way that he does. But understand, if he's telling you to push your plate back or to, get in a space where you're still in a way, do it, because you never know what it's for. The 3 months prior to my daughter getting diagnosed, it's like I went, let me eat nothing. I was like barely eating. I just told my son, I said, when I was going through that, right before that, in a 90-day period, I probably didn't eat 35 full meals. In a 90-day period. And then my daughter got diagnosed. Right? And it was more spiritual. It was more mental than physical on my body. You know what I mean? But God like worked it out to where everything worked out perfectly. So sometimes we'll be sitting there and asking God to show us or tell us, and whole time the enemy we trying to get to the next stage or phase or whatever else it is, and God wants us to sit still for a minute. You know what I mean? He don't want us moving around, and a lot of times we'll do that, right? But God has told you, have a seat. Don't do, go to work and home, and you be thinking, oh, whatever, whole time he's trying to protect you from something that the enemy has set up. I don't know what they're doing with YouTube. I have no idea what they're doing. Have they blacked y'all out over here? What's going on? And I can see they not letting nobody in, so I know they ain't sitting out not a damn what you call it? This would be a, we, did y'all just get in class, and they gonna tell them 6 hours later that we was in class. That's why you say, yep, I've learned to listen to that voice. That's God looking out for girl. I promise I used to feel like Percy Jackson, girl, when I used to be in the club. I used to feel like Percy, and I didn't even know who Percy Jackson was. I used to feel like Percy Jackson in real life. And did. I'd be in a club and he'll say, get up and leave. And people like, girl, you tripping. And I get right on up and leave. And as soon as I leave, they be like, man, it got crazy right after you left. Yeah, that's all right. Or go to, they niggas having a barbecue. We out at the park, baby. And God say, go on and get on. And I go on and get on every time. And every single time, either as I was leaving or right after I left, it be some mess. Somebody done got hurt. I don't want no parts of it. None whatsoever. I listen to that still small voice. If it tell me no, then it's no. Mm-mm. I don't want no parts of it. Because you go ahead and then you be fighting to get your mind back, fighting to get your life back together. You said this is a timely, literally, you said this is timely, literally wrote down in my journal about traveling mercy and told God to help me with road rage. Ooh, drivers, because the road been very dangerous lately. Uh-oh. Girl, listen, let them go on and go. I'll let you, if you want to road rage and try to get in front of me, go right ahead. I'm going to tell you. I told y'all this before, but I'm going to tell y'all this again. Hey, T. I know, I figured it wasn't. We talked about it. I figured it wasn't because it's been 8 people in here for however long. I know this is the second time I done started it over. But when I lived on the West Coast, I tell y'all this story all the time. I was going to work and it was a van in front of me, like not an Astro van, a Dodge Caravan, blue. I want to say it was a blue because I can see it. And I'm in the lane next to the carpool lane. And God tells me to get over. And I heard it, but I have my music on. I'm just going second time. Get over. And I look up, like, in my rear view, and it was a diesel behind me, but it was kind of far back. Y'all, I heard him say, get over again, because I had looked and kept on going. I hopped over into the carpool lane, and as soon as I did, that diesel smashed into the back of the caravan because the man had fell asleep. And I want to say I was pregnant. And end up, you said, please pray for me. You said, why I just got scammed, needing someone to fix my son's car. I'm so mad right now. Girl, I got you, sis. And we gonna pray. Everybody pray for Miss Rhodes. Girl, did I not just go through it? Didn't get scammed by one person, got scammed by 2. I know exactly how you feel. And still dealing with some of it right now. Come on. I definitely will. And listen, don't let anger set in like I did. Because that pushed your baby's blessing back. Go on and journal about it. I wish I would have did this and I popped off online. Because I know I pushed my blessing back. 100%. Because the only reason it happened is because God want to bless him with something else or something. Girl, literally. Literally, he on our son's heads today. You said that's literally nothing but God. Yeah. He on our son's head today. I'm telling you. He on our baby's heads. Listen. Write out how you feel. Write out the amount. And ask God to multiply the amount that was taken away from y'all. You hear me? No, I wish I wouldn't have. because God kept telling me to be quiet and I didn't. Right? And the devil is still messing with me right now about it. He still be trying to make me feel away. But God is like, don't worry about it. It's crazy. Now, I don't know if you was on here earlier. My son just got in an accident. Guess what? I just talked to the people that was standing there. The little boy didn't know I was on the phone. And he talking about something with the Cash App and how he moving this and that and da 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 da. And I said, hey, let me talk to that boy. Girl, these is the witnesses. I said, you know, if you steal anything or take anything or you get it ill gotten, you gotta pay it 7 times over and you never know when it's gonna come back. He was like, yes, ma'am, I know. I said, okay. And then here you are. Literally, probably in the last hour I had that conversation with my son. And whoever the witnesses to his accident. You said, oh, he messing with all of us. You said, I'm over here trying not to go off. You said, my son's ex, honey, she testing my patience. Girl, he on his way to the emergency room. Yes. Listen, y'all hearing this? If y'all think about it, it seems like, because we always on one accord, but when we all learning real good, think about how he come against all of us. It's like almost simultaneously. Mm-hmm. Um, we just talking. You hear? So understand that when you are pressing towards God, the devil is always trying to put some chains on you and pull you back into who you used to be. Always. And he normally do it when you already at a weak point. And that could be in any situation. When you already feel overwhelmed, if you already feel you know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna do it when you feel you at your strength. You know, the top of your strength. He's gonna do it when you already feel, hey Rias, he gonna do it when you already feel crazy. You know what I'm saying? You might be overwhelmed, you might be exhausted, you might be whatever. And that's when he strikes, which is crazy. You said for real, thanks sis and family. I wanna break down. You said and right, it's been a lot lately. Break down. What you holding it in for? Cry. I'm gonna cry. Cause that means our daddy about to come see about you. Listen, I'm trying to tell you what I know. Go on and get you a bad friend if you can, if the kids ain't in the way, or hop in the shower and talk to God about it. Don't do like I did and keep talking about it. Go on and get it out so it don't be so God can already start to work. I'm trying to help you. Because I know that me going off and being angry about it for so long, it pushed my blessing back. I can almost guarantee it. You said it's been a day. All I want to do is lay down right now. You said, but it's going to be okay, family. Listen, this is the thing, right? I don't believe that all these chasms that are opening up are just holes opening up. These landslides that are happening, the earthquakes. It was another earthquake today in Indonesia or India somewhere. It's like a 7.4 or something like that. It was another earthquake, right? Does it not make sense if beings are being released from the dark spaces in the earth that they've been? Don't that make sense? That we would, I mean, we literally know, and we don't know how much energy. I mean, think about like just in the movies when the spirits are coming out of the ground. right? It's normally a trembling. It's a loud noise like horses, or it feels like an earthquake. People be, and then all of a sudden you just see a swarm. Well, what if they are present? You said it does because I really think something hit or pushed me down those steps. I believe it. Nisi Poo, you don't remember the light going off by itself and my hands was right here and these is touch lamps. And right before that, that little thing that you clean your glasses with fell off the shelf. You don't remember? And then the screen went black and y'all said it was a white figure standing. Oh, okay. You realize in the spiritual realm we stand out like lights, right? Y'all realize that? And the way it dimmed first. Okay. Oh, okay. You said online. I'm trying to tell you. See, this is the thing, right? Then boom, down the stairs. Really? I literally just talked about her to my son. I'm trying to tell you. And for them to have an accident and both of their arms to be, I literally, listen, if he wasn't on his way to the hospital, I'm going to have him tell you tomorrow. I ain't going to bother him with it today, but he going to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. That's crazy. Literally. Baby, listen. Y'all got it in y'all to talk about his dark materials, or y'all want to wait till tomorrow? What we doing? I need to stay up anyway. I was gonna try to lay down, but I don't want to miss his call. So if y'all up, I'm up. If not, we can do it tomorrow, and I'll go color or something. You said no. I'll talk about it. I'm about to put y'all in the box. I don't have nothing to say today. I'm just gonna listen for real, for real. Now I might get excited, but I'm not. You said she didn't go down them steps for nothing. Come on, you already know. T, I just said whenever we get on one accord learning here, whenever we are deep into a something, have y'all noticed? It this ain't the first time this didn't happen. Whenever we are really digging into the word and we are getting answers, it seems like you said tomorrow. You said yes, talk about it. I'm outside the football game waiting for my baby. Y'all just be in class everywhere. Y'all don't even care. Y'all just take class wherever y'all go, don't you? You do. We go wherever y'all go. I see. Well, come on up. You said yes, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, and the bathroom, of course. well, well, do y'all need to get y'all papers and stuff together? I don't know what they doing over here. I know they are not alerting people that we're live, which is wild. You said I'll take you to work. That part, man. The fall was loud too. My mom was upstairs on the phone. You said, well, my sis and my sister heard it. I believe it. Girl, I'm happy you okay. Listen, you said I got notes on notes. Listen, I believe the enemy is not happy. You said I've been doing some research on the names of Cain in Hebrew. Interesting. Interesting. So, okay. What do y'all I'm about to open up the boxes, or y'all know how to request or whatever. There we go. Yep. Boom. Thank you. Come on, Rika, if you ready. Whoever is coming that was telling me they wanted to wait until. Hey, Pumpkin. Come on, y'all. They probably will start trickling in. This is so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, for real. Go ahead, baby girl. I ain't even gonna make you wait. You can start telling people what you, and then folks can come in here as they need to. Soroya, do I gotta turn this on every time I want to let people come in, or no? Make sure you got your Hi, Love Life. Love Life.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can I tell you something?
What?
Don't be mad at me. I did not know you was white, girl. Hey.
Hey, I'm Tony on the YouTube channel.
Oh. Well, hey,
Yeah.
Tony.
Yay.
Okay, so then I did know you was white. I didn't tell the truth. But I was about to say, listen, I don't ever know because I can't see what I love you.
I love you guys too. This community has been so great. These movies, it's blowing my mind.
Girl.
But I'm taking it. I just had like one of the in the intro. You know how the sparks come together at the beginning. I thought, oh, that's kind of like the Big Bang Theory, and how they, how the dust came together and everything. And then I go down the rabbit hole of the names, and I went and looked up all the names of their names of the actors and what they mean in Hebrew and Greek. And that's why I got notes on notes. That's I'm like, this is insane how this all correlates together.
So what you find? Tell us what you done found, girl.
I'm out my garage porch, as I call it.
Okay.
Go inside because I was waiting. I didn't know if you guys were gonna go. So if somebody else wants to go before me, I just got to go gather my notes.
Okay. Well, whoever, whenever, I'm just listening today.
She sounds just like me because I get into defining the names and stuff.
All right. Well, come on in, ladies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt. That's how I got on a whole gate study in Nehemiah. And I started looking up the names, and it all prophesies Jesus through the gates that Nehemiah rebuilt.
No way.
Yeah, and it's a sanctification process. Yeah, the gates. It's really a cool study.
Interesting.
The fish gate. Yeah, it starts with the fish gate, and I look up all like the spiritual meanings of it and stuff like that. That's what I do when I'm doing my study, because you taught me how to do all that, looking up stuff.
Oh, girl, you make me smile. You make your dean proud. Well, come on in and learn me something.
Well, when they were taking them in the land, like later on in the movie when they were in the land of the dead.
Okay.
And you know how they went into the one room that was 0032?
Okay.
So I was looking up 32 and what. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to get to my phone. Hey, Titi.
Hey, Pumpkin. Hold on.
Okay, so this has nothing to do. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta put your phone on mute because Miss Love Life is talking right now. You gotta put your phone on mute. I just wanted to bring you up.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. And okay. Miss Love Life, we waiting on you. Did I not do that right? Uh-oh. Sorry, T. All right, Miss Kalia, you gotta put your phone on mute, Pumpkin. Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know what's going on there. All right. Come on, Love Life.
Oh, okay, well, you know how they were talking about the veils of the world? And I noticed how the veils are lifting here in our world, and how they were talking about us being a consumers without faith. I was like, that describes this earth so much. And when you read in the Bible, it talks about God creating the worlds, plural. So to me, even with the opening statement about the eye, the way it reflects, you know, how the opening part of the intro and it shows the world's inverted. And you see like a reflection
like
of the worlds.
It's like God. When it's all the different, it's like it starts
at the very beginning, how it's inverted.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the same thing as your eyeball. How you look at something that's you look at something and it's upside down and it inverts it. Yeah. So I was looking at how that's inverting the world and it's still connected to your eye. You know, how everything is so connected. You know how we talk about connecting the dots? How everything in our body is also connected to everything else.
Like how we can, are you meaning like the animals and everything else, or are you just meaning our sight and how we see the world?
The whole function of our body, physical, our anatomical, how he created our anatomy also reflects everything else.
Oh, right.
Because like laminin, okay, I was talking about laminin. I look up, like, laminin is a protein in your body.
Okay.
That is in the shape of a cross, if you look at it under a microscope. And it goes along with the verse Colossians 1:17, where everything is held together by him and through him. And then also in the study of that because I'm a nurse, so I look up that kind of, you know, sciencey stuff.
I didn't know.
So the laminin protein is, the number is 111, which God calls, when he calls himself I am that I am. It's Aleph, which is 111. So the Trinity is right there too. Yeah, you can go a lot deeper. I mean, I go down so many. I'm like, where do I organize?
Well, real quick, I just want to say that is what season did you make? Did you finish?
No, I'm almost at the end, but I was to the part where she's trapped by the magisterium.
Okay.
The mom.
Okay.
And Lyra's in the land of the dead with Will.
Okay, so really quickly, what you just said goes along with them making the bomb for her DNA.
That's what I'm saying, because it's all going to connect back. Yes, you are all one. We are all, and that's another thing that I always look at it, like when God says that we are all a body, we are technically part of his body is the way I look at it. And every time a piece doesn't function properly, it's not gonna. But the worlds that he made is interesting because the dust thing is really interesting, how they say dust and then we're created out of dust, and you know, the whole dust thing is like they're trying to separate the soul. I'm like, oh, I feel like they're CERN on steroids sometimes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also with the body parts, there's also like I look at it like how we get put through the fire. You know, they was always talking about fire and going through that. And I also looked up like an onion and how that is layers and layers and layers, and it all just relates to like how many worlds are there. We really don't know.
I said I wasn't gonna get no book, but I'm gonna just try to get one, okay?
Okay, do what you got all the books.
Wait, because we got a book called The Book of Earths.
Okay, I don't have that one.
It's called The Book of Earths, and it's talking about Hollow Earth, the ancient maps, Atlantis, and other theories, but it talks about all of the different Earths that have been described and what's on them and all of that. So that's making me think about, hey, Pumpkin, that's making me think about that, is what that's making me think about, the Book of Earths and all these ancient...
Right, because I do believe that there's more worlds, because he said there's worlds. Yeah, look at.
Right?
That's very cool.
So this is which is crazy. It's showing the angels and then the planets. I don't know if y'all can see that or not.
It's pretty small for me to see. But also, I don't know if you have the book. I have a book where it's called "Your Maps Are Inverted."
Okay.
This man wrote it, and he has like the different portals that are in it, and he wrote it from the book of Enoch, and what he thinks is our maps are flipped upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I keep going with the eye and the invertedness and how things are just flipped.
Interesting.
And then in your retina, you're letting in and they say your eye is a window to the soul, and your retina lets in light and converts it to truth. So it's super connected to me. I'm just going down that. And then I just think it's interesting how they had that lady with the AI and the serpent on her screen, girl. I was like, oh boy. Oh, what are we doing here?
And what did she say?
I looked up the word magisterium, and it means the Catholic Church.
What did I tell y'all? I said, don't they look?
Check them out. They ain't even playing. They just saying what they are.
Listen, but again, they don't look for people to break it down that way. Right. They don't look for people to break it down. I was wondering, because think about it. The Cardinals. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then you have to think about it. Who works with the Smithsonian or even owns the Smithsonian? The Catholic Church owns the Smithsonian, right? Well, yeah. Most of our churches are built on ancient burial sites of other gods. Like a lot of those churches were not built as Catholic churches. They were built as temples to other gods, and the Catholic Church rearranged them. You see what I'm saying?
They're still part of it.
Exactly.
But I found it interesting that they had prophecies for each of the worlds too. Each world had their different prophecies.
Yeah. But the same thing was happening in each world.
Yes.
The dust was leaving.
Yes, I thought that was very. And then when you get to the sword, the whole sword thing, that the bearer of the sword and all that business, I'm still looking through all that.
Listen, so overall, where you are, would you say that, even though it's not completely biblical, does it help you understand a little bit more about like the studies that we do? And do you think it's more easily applied because we study the way that we do?
Oh, absolutely. I think that I've grown way more by our classes, our community, because I do read a lot, and I've learned how to pray. I've learned a lot of things. I've been delivered from alcohol while I've been in this class.
Right.
I've gotten married. I've had kids that have come to the Lord. I've had kids that have gone away from the Lord. I've had all kinds of things happen since 2021 when I started in your group.
No way.
And it's been good for me. I've been very happy. My one daughter was married to I'm not saying that it's wrong to be gay. That's on your choice. You do what you do. But my daughter was married to a woman, and now she's not. She's pregnant and going to have a baby. And she's walking with God.
Come on now.
And it's been a year this weekend.
Wow.
That she came to God.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been very cool. I've had a lot, and I'm over here praying for you guys when you have your situations, and I'm so excited to learn with everybody. And I watch how everybody goes through. I feel like we've all grown.
Oh, and half, because we always a mess when we got over here. The Lord knew to put us together. He did. And I want to say
it's hard to talk to other people about the other books. I don't care. I just show my books. I tell them, you need to get a relationship with Jesus. I ain't even playing with you, because I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people say, why do you read the other books? I have a lot of the KJV Nazis on me, And I'm like, I ain't doing any of that. You want to limit your knowledge? That's on you.
That part. Why do I gotta not know? Because you don't want to know. This is helping me get closer to the Lord, and it's solving problems in my life. Do you hear me? I don't want to sit and just keep hearing the same old mashed up spaghetti. You hear me? I don't want to. at all.
Well, and then I've had answered prayers, so it's been really cool. Like questions that I have in the Bible. Like I always wondered what Jesus wrote in the sand. So I was like, okay, God wrote the commandments with his finger. What was Jesus writing? Because they don't tell us.
Yeah.
But then God gave it to me, and it was in Jeremiah, and he was writing their names. Because Jeremiah prophesied anybody that goes against him, and he claimed to be the living water, because that was a question I had a long time ago, and God answered it for me just the other day, and I was like, yes, I love this part.
That's it right there. And isn't it crazy how you can wonder something for a long, 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 long time, and when God gives you the revelation, it's just like,
and what was cool is how he backed it up between Scripture and Old Testament, Scripture and him being a witness, and the whole thing in John. It connects to John and to Jeremiah and the whole thing, and back and forth. And because I was like, and we are the adulterous woman that he is protecting, and the accusers are being turned away from us. So we have to remember that he will always be our covering.
Yeah.
So a lot of times that just made it clear to me, like, yes, who's always accusing you? Oh, Satan.
And the only reason he always accusing us is because he did that one thing, and that was it. He can't get back in, and he hates the fact that we get renewed mercy every single day. He hates that.
Right.
He hates it.
Right.
So listen, I'm gonna let Todd stay up here. Don't go nowhere, because I know.
That was great. I'm sorry I'm a little scattered. I still got studying going on.
No. You fine. Come on, Todd. Stay up here, because guess what? What she said, she was already typing you on it and something else. So don't worry about it. We doing what we do. Come on. Excuse me.
I don't want her to apologize at all, because that was good right there.
It was.
Thank you. God give it to all of us.
Always.
Come on. I'm excited. Go ahead, girl. I'm listening.
Okay, so like I was saying the other day, I didn't even make it past the title screen, or like the screen where they have all the words explaining the universe, before I had to go and I guess deep dive. Mm-hmm. So I went ahead and I defined the word demon the way they spell it, which is daemon, you know? And it means divine power, or guardian spirit, or disperser of fortunes in Greek. The root word daimon is also pronounced like diamond, which is derived from Greek. So you go to define diamond, it's a Greek root word, or from the root word adamus, meaning unconquerable, invincible, or unbreakable. So then they go ahead and define A in adamus. As far as going to define the root, it means not. Damo is a verb meaning to tame or to overpower. So the combined meaning is untamable, or something that cannot be subdued. Now, ancient mythology links the concept of Adamus to the unbreakable chains, armors, and tools of gods like Hercules, and Prometheus, right? So this is where we also get the English word adamant, stubborn or unyielding, and the fictional supermetal adamantium. Now, Azrael and Miss Coulter's cutting machines, they said, used a super strong metal. This is them telling us right now adamantium is real, as just by breaking down the word demon. Now, the ancient Greeks viewed these as benevolent intermediaries between gods and mortals, or the souls of wise beings from past ages who watched over humans.
The Watchers.
Exactly.
Wow.
So then I had to go into defining the human soul, or looking into which mythology say human souls can take, animal form or other forms. I came up with Norse and Scandinavian Fylgja, or hammers, which are counterparts bound to a person, often manifesting as animals that mirror the individual's inner character, fate, or social status. So they gave examples of bears for a mighty ruler, or a fox for a cunning person. They also said seeing your soul pretty much while awake was traditionally an omen of death. What was happening to the kids?
They was dying. They was getting killed, snatched and killed. Interesting.
And so then they go ahead, and the Mesoamerican is what really caught my attention, because it says in Mesoamerican folk religion, a person is closely tied to an animal counterpart. While the tonal presents day-to-day identity, A nagual, because they're called tonals and naguals, is a human who can access deep spiritual power or physically transform into an animal counterpart to share its physical form and senses. I immediately thought Game of Thrones, wargs. They're talking about wargs. Because those are the people with the ability to enter the minds and bodies of the animals and perceive the world through their senses and even control the animal's action.
Wasn't Brandon what? What was it? The little boy?
All the Stark children were wargs. Every one of them.
Interesting. Because somebody could see through the eyes of the wolf. Somebody could see through the eyes of what, the crow?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
All of them could warg into their dire wolves. Every one of the Stark kids.
So let me ask you a question. Does that make it so? Think about in the different shows that we've watched, most times a witch or a warlock does that exact same thing.
The witch is in his dark materials. Her demon goes away from her and watches over them and sees what they're doing, and she sees through his eyes. The demon literally says, she sees what I see.
Which kind of goes back to us talking about the meta glasses today, because if we know that AI is a demon, right, then that is literally exactly what I said earlier, the demon seeing through our eyes, seeing exactly what we see. We are literally giving eyes to spirits.
Right. And then I went into the West African, because West African traditions also talk about it. And it says that one soul is external, or a bush soul, and it physically resides inside a wild animal such as a leopard, elephant, or crocodile-headed gods, roaming the forest. Whatever happens physically to the animal counterpart directly impacts the health and fate of the human. What was happening to the kids whose animals were separated from them? What happened to that kid happened to the demon. What happened to the demon happened to the child.
Even with the adults too. If they choked the dog or the cat or the whatever it was, the person couldn't breathe. This is, girl, go ahead. I'm listening.
And then going into the Siberian-ness of it, because there's so many of it from all these different people across the world. Like, none of these people are near each other. But it says, groups like the Yakuts believe that powerful individuals or shamans kept an external soul housed inside a hidden animal. These animal souls could occasionally wander or fight other spiritual animals, with injuries to the animal directly manifesting as illness or death for the human. What happened when Mrs. Coulter had her demon attack Lyra's? That was spiritual warfare. They were spiritually battling each other, a battle of the souls.
So...
Now, that also caught my attention, because I was like, so what happens to the animal happens to the person. It's a part of the person's soul. It took me to Harry Potter. Like a Horcrux, if all Horcruxes are destroyed, the caster dies a permanent death instead of being a disembodied spirit.
So it's like fighting in the astral realm, basically.
Exactly. It's literally spiritual warfare.
The
demons fighting each other is spiritual warfare.
It's making me think about he came to set the captives free when the witches was sending the spirits in there to choke old girl, remember? And they kept giving her cancer and all those different things. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And old girl Rebecca, God would wake her up when the spirits, she would go in there and they were choking Elaine and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So then I went ahead and I was like, so Lord Asriel discovers that the dust or portals to other worlds settle on a certain form, or they only are really changeable by children, because once the child hits puberty, or a certain kind of maturity with all their parts,
yeah,
does the demon settle into one form. Asriel's portal can only be opened using energy frequency, a specific frequency, as dust itself, which is what he discovered, is energy. This energy is only accessible or manipulatable by prepubescent children. It's susceptible to prepubescent children. So separating a child from their demon is literally them harvesting energy. Harvesting the dust causes children extreme pain and fear, which causes a spike in adrenaline. And this is where I get into my good friend Adrian. So that fear triggers a rapid surge of adrenaline via fight or flight response. Now, that causes the cortisol flow in the blood or the bloodstream to increase your blood pressure. A normal blood pressure, say BPM, so beats per minute, is 60 beats per minute, which is equal to 1 hertz. If we, implement it into sound. A fast heartbeat is 2 hertz. Severe adrenaline boost, that fight or flight response, increases your heart rate to 150 plus BPM, equaling an increase of 1.33 hertz. The adrenaline formula per the periodic table is C9H13N and 03, which is carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen.
Hold on, say that again. You said carbon, hydrogen,
nitrogen, and oxygen.
Interesting.
So, demon severing and dust portals require the harvesting of Adrian from prepubescent children to operate. The Adrian formula is carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and ozone.
Okay.
Now, ozone is a molecule that is made from oxygen. It's just a specific form of oxygen. The atoms are just bonded together in a different way, which creates a different kind of structure.
Okay.
That's where that adrenaline comes in. The adrenaline is what creates the structure. So the effects of Adrian causes the heart cells to waste energy as heat and lose their overall efficiency. Now, remember the talk about mitochondrial DNA we had the other day? Mitochondria becomes less efficient after 10 minutes of exposure to stress-induced Adrian, which led me to think they are using this to erase the mother's mitochondrial DNA to produce purely angelic beings, because if you take the mitochondria from the mother out of the person, you just remove the human part of these Nephilim, of these people, of these bloodlines.
Okay, wait a minute. So that makes me think about the first beings that the angels were with was the human women. But then they started breeding after the human women, once they made that first round of Nephilim, they immediately started breeding with animals, which would breed out, right, the mitochondrial DNA of all of the beings. Because now if you continue to make the mother's animals, then the mitochondrial DNA of the original mother, is that them weeding it out or no?
That's what I think, because again, the mitochondrial DNA is the DNA that is passed down over time.
But but think about this, and if the angels, again, it said in the testament, in the book of Lamech, that it was the whole family mixing whatever, but they was being impregnated by dead folks and spirits and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm wondering, and they're the people that started the genetics, tampering with the genetics. I wonder if that is, because you got to think, they were the people that sacrificed. They're the people that started this, and if they knew that, that makes sense that they would sacrifice these children. That makes a lot of freaking sense.
And if we take it back to the Arcus, which was the rulers, principalities, or authorities, who do they call the person who reigns over all these realms and makes sure that nobody is coming into contact with each other?
The authority.
The authority. And that ties back into patriarch, patrimony, patrilineal.
Mm-hmm.
They are putting more emphasis on the father's DNA, of the angelic DNA. So if exposure to Adrian, which you can only get and is most effective in a child, and you can only get it from that child in a certain state, what were the children who were being separated from their demons, separated from their souls, feeling? Extreme fear and pain. Perfect conditions for harvesting Adrian.
And you know what, I'm really quickly, I just want to say this. How do we know that heart rate and fear is not what opens up the portal for the demons in this realm? Because think about it, splitting them from their soul, split personalities, right? Ain't that DID?
Altars. And that took me to what happens, what do most people say, even especially as children or even as adults, what happens to them after they are assaulted in a certain way? What happens to their soul?
It's damaged.
What do they say it feels like?
It feels like they died.
Exactly.
OMG. Come on in, Danny. We over here. Come on over here. OMG.
They quite literally just exposed why they need the children, what they're doing to them, and how they're doing it.
And guess what? If you think about it, you're right, because after they took their soul, the kids is like medicated babies.
Zombie-like.
OMG.
But that's like kind of where I started going with this.
No, baby, you are on, because I mean, you have to think about it, right?
But then I thought about it too, and I'm like, Mrs. Coulter was taking the children north. The person who assists her the closest is Boreas. And we were just talking about Svalbard and all of that up in the north. The bear is a Svalbard bear in the north, where all this is taking place. And her closest friend is called Boreal.
Yep. Northern Lights. And think about well, what do they tell us? They tell us all the time in the movies that deep somewhere in the Arctic there are all of the, even wasn't not Lord of the Rings, Wolverine. One time when he in the snow somewhere and he was under the ground, and that's when they were putting the adamantium or whatever it was in his
body. His whole body is made of adamantium, which they say is a myth, but it is the strongest metals, which took me again back to Uriel and Hellel, masters of matters, masters of creating the earth, responsible for bringing up mountains and whatnot in the earth. So if he is Uriel's twin, and this is what Uriel is a master of, and he is his counterpart, would he not also be a master of these metals and these earthly materials?
Yes. I'm just thinking. Auntie, put your phone on. Everybody, put their phones on mute, please.
If her eyes is itching,
Rika, we can hear you. Auntie, Lisa, can y'all put your phones on mute, please? I don't know if Rika, you know you on here.
Girl, no, I didn't know. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Just okay. All right, go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
That also took me, because I was like, so who was responsible for, drinking the Adrian of these children, right? It took me to the Mesopotamian goddess Lamashtu. She is the daughter of the sky god Anu. Sky god Anu. So she is the daughter of a sky god. Anu, and if we all know the whole name for all of that, they're literally telling you why they are harvesting all of this.
Yeah, but think about it. What did Enoch tell them? He told us, and right there, they started to drink what? They was drinking blood, right? And they were sacrificing their children and making them pass over the fire, right? But you have to think about it. The demons instantly attacked Adam and Eve so that they couldn't have children, right? And then even once they did have children, literally what did God say? It's your seed against their seed. So even with that, this all fits into them trying to breed out the mitochondrial DNA. It makes sense as to why they started experimenting with animals as well, maybe trying to take, because think about it. What are they calling women right now? They're not calling women mothers. What do they call them? Childbearers or something like that. They're trying to change the name.
Childbirthing person.
Childbirthing person. Not mother, not woman, childbirthing person. That's wild.
And it also took me to orcs again, because I was like, so who was responsible for like fear? And tell me why I found the demon Orcus.
And he's responsible for fear.
They say that he causes fear and extreme dread, and one of the prime factors for harvesting Adrian is extreme dread.
And you have to think about it. In Lord of the Rings, they made them look dreadful. They were scary looking, which makes sense. That's interesting.
And and we said the kids were zombie-like after their souls were taken, right? Orcus, also known as Tenebrous, was a demon prince and primordial that served as master of the undead from the depths of the abyss.
Which makes me think about what we watched in, what's the name, when she was in the land of the dead. Because remember, they said this isn't hell and it's not heaven. They're in a prison. They were dead, but not all the way dead, right? Ain't that what that was basically?
Yeah. And Orcus is literally called the demon prince of undeath.
Interesting. So wait a minute. I wonder if. Okay, so what you said, Orcus? Did it tell the the region he came from, or where he? What did you say it was? Did you tell me?
Lamashtu was
Akkadian,
Mesopotamian, but I can look up Orcus.
Look and see if they was Akkadian. I'm wondering if they were from the sons of Akkad, or either from the sons or from the Anakim. That's gonna be interesting.
Oh wow. Goat-like form, portrayed with bloated body, bat wings, and the head and legs of a ram. He is Roman.
Really?
Viewed as a god of death, similar to Hades or Pluto, though he specifically targeted liars and oath breakers, Roman and Etruscan.
Okay. So okay.
His name likely connects to Horkos, the Greek spirit of oaths.
But you got to think, the Etruscans, they were like an off branch, if I'm not mistaken, of the Akkadians. Or I know that they all, because they were around when the, not Bohemians, but the Boeotians were around as well. I think the Boeotians and the Etruscans were around at the same time or similar times. And I don't know if, because you got to think about it, everybody that left, I just actually was commenting this on somebody's page because they were saying something about the Roman gods or whatever, and I said, well, why is it that all of the places in Greece and Rome and different things are named after the places in Egypt, right? So it was everybody moving out different areas. But I'm wondering, because I feel like there is an Akkadian god or maybe a Sumerian god, one of the two, that is similar to that name, but it might be with an A and not with a because I think Arcus.
I just looked up Etruscans. They are externally influenced by the Greeks and the Phoenicians.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. And the Phoenicians and the Akkadians, they ran together as well, right? The sons of Akkad.
I believe so.
Because I feel like that I feel like in our Og book, there's a guy named Arcus, but it could be You know how they play with the
Oh my goodness.
What?
Arcus and Orcus, principalities, rulers, and authorities.
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't seen that name before, and I know I seen it from ancient Mesopotamia. It wasn't Rome. Okay.
And then Arcus, the primordial, invisible entity of darkness.
Stay right there. Hold on. because I feel like his name is in the 100,000 Giant War. Is I feel like I be seeing it's either this or one of the I feel like Arcus was in here. Or maybe it was a name that was similar. Why do I feel like that name is so cool at land? Okay, maybe not. It's Arc. Oh, it's Caucus. Kakus. And they have Corb, but not Arcus. Okay. I felt like it was one in here named Arcus. It's Arg the Red. So I was hold on. You can keep going, baby. I'm sorry. Auntie just looking. I feel like I've seen his name before, but again they play with the names too, so that's a thing.
He had another name. I think it was Horcus. So I think these might be the same people, just with different letters.
I think so, because it says, Caucus the dark Rephaim from the hotlands of elsewhere. Caucus, worshiper of the gods we do not know. Caucus, whose hair was as ropes, and whose back was broad. Caucus, whose dark ones broke the bones of the circumcised Nephilim when told. Caucus, who wore high-ranking circumcised Nephilim army heads about his waist. So basically, anybody that was a high-ranking person, I'm guessing that he killed, he wore them around his waist. But it says Caucus, who was scarred by Baal of the moon, and as he pronounced a broken incantation to raise the moon child from the dead. That would be an undead person, right?
Yeah.
Can y'all spell Orcus?
I believe it was Orcus.
Okay, I think I found something else too. You say he had another name, right?
Am I?
Orcus.
Are these the people that's asking?
Yeah, he has another name. I'm looking up this thing. It's called the Forgotten Realm Wiki. He has another name. It's Tenebrous.
Tenebrous. Yep.
Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was on the right page.
Interesting. All right. Can we let Danny and Nicole for a minute, and then we're going to get Key. Oh, wait. Key, you was first, and then Danny. I'm sorry. And then we'll come back to you, Nicole. Is that okay?
It's okay, y'all. I'm soaking up all this information. This is so cool.
Oh, okay. You don't want to go?
T, while y'all on this subject, just let me show you this book. Hold on. Let me switch my camera. While y'all talking about this, look at this. Look what it says about who did y'all just say? Arcus?
Uh-huh.
Watch this. It's in here. Arcus, Greek, son of Zeus and Callistiel, who gave his name to Arcadia. Zeus raised him to heaven as the star Arcturus, and his mother as the Great Bear constellation to escape Hera's anger. I have a book. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I wanted to show the whole family. I have books that go towards everything that you're teaching, TT. You're so on point with everything. Like, oh my gosh, you cannot make this up. And some other name y'all just said, it's in here too. Every Greek god, every Phoenician god is in this book. And it tells you exactly what y'all talking about right now. This is so freaking cool.
What's the name of the book, girl?
This one is called The Witch's God.
The Witch's God?
Yes, ma'am.
Interesting. Thank you, Pumpkin. Look at that. The Witch's God. Okay. Who is the author? Well, I found it. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. I be telling y'all to go look. I'm gonna go looking. So go back.
They have every single one that y'all just named. This is so cool.
You already know, Taj. You already know. I'm sitting here, but you was just talking about the Bears, and then here you come in and say
Hold on, did my camera just go off?
If we can't even see you, baby, it ain't even allowing us to see nothing. I don't know if it's because we got all these people in here or what's going on, but I never get to see. Oh, there you go.
Okay, this is what it's called. I'm sorry. I thought it was on the whole time.
Okay.
And it looks just like this.
By Janet Farrar?
Yes, Farrar.
Okay. Thank you, Pumpkin.
Yes,
See?
absolutely. But finish teaching me. I'm so excited right now.
Okay, you got a lot of books over there too, girl.
I do. TT, I'm telling you, this talked about the Smurfs, Wizard of Oz.
Wait, let me screenshot that, girl. Hold on. Okay.
Everybody, if y'all
14
want a picture,
things
just
witches
it.
hope parents never find out. Ooh, 14 things witches hope parents never find out by David who?
By David Benoit. Benoit.
Okay. Girl.
Literally everything that you talk about, TT. Look at this one. Just, I'm going to go quick. Just all of these things that will come back in the end that already existed.
Girl, if you don't send me a screenshot, this is what I be talking about. Y'all be having information and y'all don't be...
See, I've been waiting for this opportunity for so long. You don't understand.
Girl.
I have so much knowledge in here. I'm bursting with it.
Oh, y'all playing. Right.
You here on YouTube, girl. Where you been?
I know.
I'm so, I'm shy to post content because, people are so judgmental. They don't want to hear this stuff, and I don't got time arguing with a million people.
Well, don't argue, but still put the information up, baby, because people need it. Okay? You have to. You have some... I know. Girl, I'm screenshotting as we go.
Them little kids' books is in there, too.
Oh, come on in. Girl, you got all the good stuff. Right.
I've been following TT for like 4 years now, but I've been always wanting to show you these books. And this, last but not least, I'm not trying to make this long. TT,
okay.
Let's talk about fallen angels, the books that the fallen angels that was in the book of Enoch that taught witchcraft spells. I'm talking about every single thing is in here.
That's the only book I got that you done held up. Keep going to the next one, girl, so I can get my stuff together. Look. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, now go back a little bit. Go back just a little. There you go. Right on. Y'all don't go buy them before I can get mine either, because I know how y'all do. Girl, you got the goods over there.
You see, most of these came from the thrift store.
I bet they did.
All this information is sitting in books because they know people won't read it.
And you got all of it over there and ain't told us nothing. You ain't said nothing. Ain't you been holding out?
If y'all want to keep screenshot, I'm so sorry to do this, but I have to. I
Girl, come on.
This one talks about what we eat, things that we shouldn't be eating. We're supposed to be eating according to our blood type. Yeah. You can get sick just by the food that you eat, just because it doesn't fit your blood type.
Yep, we didn't talk about it over here. Come on in, girl. You all in it. Come on, look at it. See.
See, I don't even know if this makes sense to show y'all, but it still got cool stuff in there.
All of these is real, because everything that they say is extreme, abnormal, whatever, is the real stuff. It's this BS they be showing us.
I'm gonna just let it go so y'all can take pictures before I get off of here.
Okay. Thank you so much, because I sure got me some. Look at that.
I'm only showing the books that I know that have so much significance to me. Hold on 1 second. I have these.
Y'all can't
I'm pretty sure you heard of Rebecca Brown. Yes, okay. Oh my God, TT, I have so many good ones. This is crazy.
Okay, where are you from, girl?
I'm from Louisiana.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Genesis and Decay. Okay.
This one is super good. This one talks about how the devil tries to destroy us through food.
Okay. You got all the good stuff. Okay. Hold on. I feel like I might have seen that one before. I think go up.
This is very popular.
I think my mama got this one. I think that's a book my mom might have on her thing.
Family. I think this one would be good for the family too.
The Bondage Breaker.
If you're going through a huge healing, Tita always talks about healing.
Now I know about this one. I done read that one. Listen, that used to be on my shelf until I let somebody use it, and it never came back. Never came back.
I think that's all I have to show y'all. I didn't want to interrupt too bad, but even this one, I've been wearing and tearing it down.
Okay. You said Wrestling with Angels. Thank you. Come on, girl. You putting us on.
Look, I'm done. That's all I wanted to show y'all. I'm so excited that I was able to get that off because, oh my goodness.
Let me tell you something.
I can wait forever to show you these books. I'm like, I know my TT gonna love these books. She loves stuff like this.
Don't you ever?
Our family loves stuff like this.
Don't you ever apologize for putting us on. We just a little angry that you not angry, just a little, cause you didn't held out so long. Now hold on.
Thanks, y'all. I'm about to mute myself again so we can finish learning.
Okay, girl, y'all, did y'all get? I hope y'all got y'all screenshots. Thank you, Key. Right, thank you, Key, cause you didn't put us on. Girl, got the good stuff, Valerie. She been holding out on her old TT. Look at it. Okay, so before we get to Danny, then I'm gonna run to the restroom. I done did good. I've been about 75 minutes, no break. You said I'm about to add these to my list ASAP. Girl, you and me both. She got all the goods. She pulling book after book after book after book of all the goods, honey. Y'all missed out. Y'all better get over here and get you some. I'm about to run to the thank you pumpkin too. Cause girl, I done seen some good stuff over there. That's how I wish I could come and see y'all libraries. Maybe I'll do a library tour before the end of this world and just come to y'all house and peek in y'all libraries and see what y'all get. Cause y'all got the good stuff over there. And dude, I know I just don't be going no more because I don't have no space. I don't be going no more because that mean I have to build another gym. I ain't got no more space in here. Girl, listen, this is why I be asking y'all to get each other's emails and stuff like that. I don't know how. I know y'all was on WhatsApp for a while or whatever, but this is why it's important to at least follow one or two people from our community. That way, if you do come across something, you can spread the word. You know what I'm saying? Because one day you might not be in class, but you want to put the class on or whatever else it is. That's an easier way for us to keep the information highway going, you know. But let me run to the restroom. I'll be right back, and then Danny, we gonna get what you got in here. And I feel like we missing somebody, but I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. All right, let's go. Come on, Danny.
I don't know what Nicole has already talked about. I love calling her Nicole. We got the same little name. She just spelled it differently.
It don't matter. Come on, whatever you got, just come on in, girl. It's always adding.
Everybody call me Nicole anyway.
Okay. Okay, good. So look, my main thing, I was trying to hurry up and get to season 3 because y'all was acting like it was just like the most jewels was popping out, and there definitely was popping out on season 3. Like they were just telling everything on season 3. Just a second ago, I had made a note to look up the city of magpies, and I'm like, didn't we hear magpies from somewhere? Like, isn't that a name that we know of?
It's in the
something else?
It's in the imaginary book, the island of the magpies in the in the north.
Yeah, I knew I heard that. It just made me think. I don't have that book yet. It should be on its way soon, but of course, I don't have that yet. It's coming. I took notes and they all over the place. The main thing that I was paying attention to a lot when they got to season 3, and she went to the land of the, what is it, the land of the dead is what it was called. Mm-hmm. And how she couldn't take her demon with her. With her, and I was like, well, if the demons are supposed to be the souls manifested outside the body, and then of course she wasn't dead when she went there, but she was basically like she was dead, but in a sense, kind of
like in a coma almost. How they don't be
right, and that's what I thought of, because I'm like, when that happened, you're in comas, and I know 2 people that was in comas, and they always say that they can see, they know what's happening. They just can't, they're there, but they're not there. That's what it made me think of, because you have like an out-of-body experience, basically, but you're not, and being spiritually dead as well. So, when they were there, I'm just like, this is giving the rich man in Lazarus in Luke 16, because I'm like, there was a huge chasm that they were falling into. The only thing they didn't show us was the paradise side, but it was definitely given that, because I'm like, okay, well, they're in a location, and then that one lady was like, they lied to us. I lived my whole life, and now I'm here, and I'm just like, see, they be wanting you to stray away, because remember I told you I was feeling some type of way about this season 3 when it started, especially when I saw them angels, and they gonna get them the names Baruch, and then then they seen the other angel being Enoch or Metatron, and I was like, so y'all just gonna try to take what's good and flip it and turn it into something that's crazy?
But hold on though, real quick. But think about the pew sitters.
Right.
That think all I gotta do is go to church and pray a little bit, and I'm gonna go to heaven.
I'm gonna tell you the story. When she said that, I'm talking about like I be having my full life experiences pop up in my head. It's like a movie. People be thinking I'm crazy, but it'll pop up like when somebody will say something, and then that whole experience will play in my head. And I was doing this food pantry volunteering thing back in like, I want to say it was, the time done flown by so fast, but I want to say it was in 24, and we were in Illinois, and this lady was like, she was like so frantic, and she was just moving around so much, and she was just everywhere. And I'm like, how long have you been volunteering here? She was like, I've been volunteering here for a long time. I'm just trying to get into heaven. And I had to explain to her, I'm like, ma'am, that's not how you get into heaven. She was like, well, I have to do good things. And I was like, you do have to do good things, but if you're doing this for the sole purpose of getting into heaven, you're mistaken. And I want you to understand that. And she kind of like looked at me, and she was like, oh, okay. And she shied off away. But it just made me think, that lady, when she said that, I'm like, there's so many people who believe all you gotta do is, and we talk about that all the time, like, all you gotta do is this. And it's like, that's not, it literally tells you in the Bible that people don't read the Bible correctly, so therefore they don't really understand what's really going on. But
and anyway, it says you're not saved by works, don't it?
Right, you're not saved by works. You do the things that you do because you are saved, not you do not you. That's how it works, because when nobody's supposed to do better, so therefore if you are now in the body of Christ, you do new things, old things pass away. That's what that means. But anyway.
You here? I'm listening, girl.
So look, because I'm going on a tangent. We want to be talking about this. Let me pause myself for a second.
I'm listening.
The specters thing, what did that make you think of when you saw how when they got to the land of the second Oxford? Was that the second Oxford, or was that a different place? Because I know it said two Oxfords worlds apart. Her Oxford was different from Will's Oxford, but that wasn't Oxford that they was in when the specters came. Right. That was a different world, right?
Yes, it was a different. It was a world between the two.
The two, okay. It made me think of like a Peter Pan type-ish world, because it was just children, and all the adults that was there, the specters was getting them, the adults, but the children were like that, left to fend for themselves basically. And when they got to a certain age, it kind of gave that same idea of like, the innocence of children basically. And then when you reach over into adulthood, and it was like a certain age, like how the boy had stole the knife because he was afraid of the specters, and the knife is what kept them away from him. Yeah. Because he was reaching into his adulthood life or whatever. Yeah. But think about this. If you think about it, demons normally attach to people when? In their childhood, right? Childhood, yeah, but right. From in the birth time sometimes. But it normally doesn't manifest until they hit puberty. Sometimes you can see it, but you actually see that demon has been there, and they start to act out and all of this. And most times, it goes into
early adulthood, right? They rebelling or whatever else. Well, real quick, going along with what you said, the book that Miss Garcia sent me, I was looking it up, and y'all, let me show you, which is so crazy that we're talking about these kids, and y'all both literally the one thing I took from there, and I didn't know y'all was gonna talk about this. Hold on, look at this. Did I take it with this? Oh, it's not screenshots, it's actual pictures. The number 21. What the heck? I'm gonna have to go get the book. Anyway, basically, the number 21 literally means like out of control, or give me 1 second. And it's going along with what y'all keep going, Danny.
No, you're good, because I didn't have, like I said, my notes are in my phone, and I'm in here on my phone, so I can't click off, it'll kick me out of the thing. But like, and I don't even know what y'all talked about, because I missed your whole portion of all, like, they didn't even tell me I was on. So
I was just getting into like how the demons represent the human soul and all of that. I'm trying to like be careful with my words, because what I went into was a little I don't know that the clock app will like it.
okay, I thought about that too before I said going to the land of the, and I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute, they might say something before we.
Yeah, I'm trying to be careful of the clock app.
Yeah, and I thought about that too, because when they were explaining about how Will didn't have a demon or whatever, or because he comes from a different world, he's not able to see his demon. And then when they went into that location, then all of a sudden there was a demon, and I'm like, okay, so then that means there was a severance happening, sort of. Mm-hmm. The same way how they've been trying to sever the demons from the children. There was the same thing that happens when you go into that location, because their souls can't be there. So it's kind of like how when we read, I don't know what book that was when we read, when it talks about the soul goes back to, or I think that was Ezra, where the soul goes back to the one who gave it, and then the body or the spirit or something is lingering. So it was a mix of that too. What else was there?
It makes you think about, because think about this, right? And I don't know if Nick was in here, right? But think about people who are in mental institutions. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they're in that in-between world. Like trapped in their body, and they're there, but they're not there, right? And they see everything in the spirit that's around, but in our world, they're technically considered out of their mind or not coherent. Right?
Because it's foreign to us. Like, I did tell y'all that my mom had a situation like that back when I was a kid or whatever. And she used to, when she was a child, she used to be able to see things where she wasn't there, but she would be able to see it. Like one time, there was a funeral happening, and her parents wanted her to go to school because she was too young to go to the funeral, but she was able to tell them what the lady had on in the casket, and they was like, well, how you know? And she was like, because I saw it. And so because they were treating her a certain way, she stopped telling them about what she was able to do. And so then I told you later on, when I was 7, like, my mom had a mental break, and a lot of stuff had took place. And so she ended up in a mental institution from the time that I was 7 until I turned, like, 18? Wow. But when the situation happened, she has no recollection of it. Like, I know what happened because I was there, but she does not. And so that lets me know that she was not, it wasn't her doing it. Like, the spirits take over your body. You're doing whatever as a host, and then you snap back into it once all the stuff is done. So she doesn't have any control. And then also, too, when it took place, they had to restrain her, and it took, like, 5 grown men to get her restrained. Like, she was ripping the steel benches out of it. Like, that's how you know it was some possession, like something was going on.
Right. But think about this. What do people call that type of experience?
Like the outer body or the possession?
No, you said it. They call it an out-of-body experience. Okay. Like their spirit was on the outside of their body.
Right. That makes sense.
If you think about it, because in his Dark Materials, their spirit is on the outside of their body, but that spirit feels every single thing that they feel.
Right. And then that's fact. So it's like, okay, well, basically they're literally having the whole situation just different. Like her side was different from Will's. He didn't have that situation, but she did, basically.
This making me think about what is it? Dissociative disorder. Yep. Come on in, girl.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to. I was telling somebody too. I'm like, you got to remember, basically, like you said, the spirits get into you early on, and then depending on like what happens, different ones can jump in. So when they say, "Oh, they're crazy," I'm like, they're not crazy. They're just a host harboring multiple spirits. Like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And of course, because they want us to believe that these things are not natural, so they categorize people as being crazy or mental or whatever the case may be, then everybody just associates them as that. But I'm like, it needs a deliverance. Like something's happening here. They need the spirits to be removed.
100%. I mean, and if you think about it, that one guy that came on, I don't know his name, but we were watching just a couple months ago that came out that he was in that program, and even old boy that was on the confessionals or whatever it's called, he said that every time that they would abuse him, his personalities would split. Remember?
Yeah.
And it made me think back to what Nicole was saying about them doing this at a time of fear, right? And so that they could get certain things from them, but also to split their all I hear on my legs is standing up, to split these babies' personalities so that those other entities could come in and they could control them whenever they want to. Well, why was they cutting the little kids' demons away from them? To control them, because they were trying to stop sin from getting to them, but it also cut them off, and there was no life after that demon was severed from them. After their soul was taken, there was no life in them babies' eyes, and they might as well have been unalived because they weren't there anymore. Well, what are a lot of these behavioral meds doing to our babies? They said a lot of people
they're lifeless. They're just like walking zombies, basically.
Exactly.
And when you said that part, what made me really pay attention, because I pay attention to different stuff that y'all probably didn't notice, but Azrael, the character that played Azrael, he also played Split, the guy with the different identities. And I'm like, it's interesting that you would play this character and then you also played that character too. Like,
And thank you for saying that, because I was so sitting there thinking that. And then if you think about it, he was also Charles Xavier in X-Men. He gets into people's heads. He can read your thoughts, speak in your mind.
And with supernatural beings, he knew where every last one of them was. And think about it, who was he trying to get in contact with in this movie? The supernatural beings.
Supernatural beings, right. And then it was crazy because when in the beginning, when Ann, whatever her name, Marissa Coulter, I don't know why I keep calling this lady Ann Coulter, but anyway.
Girl, that might have been the real lady's name in real life. We don't know.
But Marissa Coulter, when she was taking the children, like, I'm like, how do they know that the children, that this is what happens with the children? So my whole thing was, remember how they talked about Lyra is a product of their, basically she was messing around with him, even though she was married. So that's why they was like, oh, well, she's sinned, and she, this and this and that. And both her parents wanted to disassociate themselves from her to try to cover up what they did or whatever. But I'm like, they both have been doing different experiments. She was more like a 3-letter word. It's like she belonged into like the 3-letter word group, and he was more like a loner, like a you gotta like whatever they call them, like
a crazy scientist type of dude.
Yeah, but like kind of like I the words on my tongue, but I can't think of it. But I'm just like, how did they know that this would happen? And I'm like, because they hadn't been doing it to the children prior to, because he used Roger. He did Roger like that. And I'm like, you gonna take your daughter friend to get you, like, literally? And I'm like, well, he did this countless times before because he knew exactly what to do and how to do it.
And I was looking at that, and I was like, when he was upset, when he thought Lyra came along, he thought he was going to have to use her to do it. That's why he looked at Roger like that. But when you pointed out, like you said, Lyra was the result of Miss Coulter messing around with Azrael. Was Cain not the result of you messing around outside of her? Excuse me, my bad.
It's right, but think about this. And then her husband got killed, right? So in the fight, with Azrael. Azrael end up killing him, right? Ain't that what happened? Well,
Oh my God.
what did the
And the
angels
wages
start
of sin
doing
is
to the?
death.
So she was produced in sin, right? Adultery, right? But think about it. All the women that bore the giants, it says that they took them by force from their husbands and created these beings. And then what started happening? They started killing and eating the men. The angels started killing the men as well.
And I don't know if it got into this in the show, but I remember reading the books a while back.
Okay.
But there's a certain law in their universe where it says, yes, Azrael had the right to defend himself, which is why he was not thrown in prison, but all of his lands, titles, and whatnot were transferred into Mrs. Coulter's husband's name post-mortem, because a man had the right to defend or avenge the violation of his wife.
Yep, it did say that. It definitely said that. She was talking to, when she was talking to the, what she called the name? Hugh? Was that the name of the main dude?
Yeah. So, I'm just thinking too. Did they tell us something when they said they made her Eve, right? Yeah. She's the new Eve. I knew. Mm-hmm. And you think about it, what did the fallen angels, when they created children with the women, right? Mm-hmm. The mothers of their children would be considered a new Eve because they gave birth to a race of people that had never been born before. You see what I'm saying? Like, this was a whole different line of people or beings. You see what I'm saying? So if you think
of why they kept saying we got to keep her from sinning, because they and again that goes back to what we were talking about before, when remember how everybody likes to blame Eve as if it's just Eve, but I'm like, y'all failed to remember, or you failed to read properly. God gave Adam the law before Eve was ever created. Mm-hmm. And then when Eve was created, it was Adam's responsibility to tell Eve what God told him. Adam did not do that. Adam told Eve something that was different, which is how the serpent was able to come in there and sow deceit, because you didn't tell her exactly what you were told. Mm-hmm. So therefore there's room for error, because you didn't tell her the same exact thing. You told her what you put. It's like to make that game telephone. When you start a message and by the end of it, it's wrong. Yeah. Well, God told you one thing and then you told her something else. Therefore, the enemy knew who to go to. Mm-hmm. And then when the curse didn't even happen until he came till you did it. If you think about it, the curse didn't happen until Adam ate the fruit, because that's when God was like, "Oh, where y'all at? And what y'all was doing?"
Which makes
sense. And then
sense.
Adam was like, "Oh, well, the woman that you gave me," but then he like, "But didn't I tell you?" Mm-hmm. And so that's why he said the ground is going to be cursed on your behalf, not. So of course Eve has her role in it, but it's not just Eve. But they're playing it in this show like it's just Eve, because they're not looking for no Adam to get Adam to not sin again. It's just Eve.
But think about it, even with that, right? So when they put Lyra in the machine, right? What they were putting on other children, they didn't want to happen to their kid, right?
Yes.
Well, exactly. Think about this. The fallen angels and the Nephilim didn't care about killing regular humans, but they went to God and begged for the life of their children. Remember?
Yeah.
They didn't care about how it was affecting and splitting people from their mortal body, and their souls were just crying out to God. Same thing with them. And think about this. It almost is the Adam and Eve story, because they was working in the garden together, right? Her and Azrael was working on the project together. Because remember, when he took her in front of the tribunal, she said, my work is equal to his. Well, they both got kicked out of the garden because whoever got the law, whatever, they both sinned equally against
exactly. God. Right. And so that's what I'm saying. Like they made it as though it was just one person, but I'm like, that was a sin equally. Like, it came upon them equally, not just one person.
Right.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Did y'all catch the parallels between Azrael and Lyra and Abraham and Isaac? Because Azrael thought he was going to have to use Lyra to open his portal, right? He thought when she came alone. But instead, he did Roger. Roger was the lamb in the bush.
That's crazy.
I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. And he had to go up on the mountain.
Yes.
What the heck?
And he thought he was going to have to do his child.
Yes.
But then Roger was there. Roger was the lamb.
That is crazy. I did not pick that up. Well.
Right. But
that's why we have these discussions.
I
can see everything.
Okay, so also, real quick, right? Did y'all see the lady when she was talking to the snuffleupagus looking thing?
Yes, Mary. Yes.
And she said, what are y'all? And Atar or whatever her name. She said, we're angels. Mm-hmm. But they were angels in animal form.
Right?
Like
in the garden.
Think about this. We just looked at the tetramorph, and it's an animal and a man and a this and a that all put together, right? Well, how is it that they're angels? The angels in the one world look regular, right? But the angels in the world that Mary was in, they look like animals. And remember I told y'all, I said when I was like 13 and I was out on my own, 12 or 13, you said Roger means spiritual warrior. Interesting. I didn't know that. Excuse me. When I was like 13, cats. Remember I told you I'm scared of cats. I've always had a fear of cats. And every time when I was out walking late at night, when I didn't have nowhere to go when I was like 12 or 13, it would be a cat. And remember I told y'all the cat would go house to house with me every place I went. And then whatever place I was going to sleep that night, the cat would sit on the porch until I got in. And then I would get up in the morning and the cat would be gone. The cat would be gone. So, or the dog, whatever it was. Y'all know I don't do animals. So it stood out to me, and I would always get like the hair on my body would stand up, and people would always ask me, whose animal is that? I don't know. I was walking and it just started following me. If I went to 3 different people's house, 3 of my homeboys' house, homegirls' house, whatever, it was the 90s, so we pop up, we chilling, whatever. The animal would sit out there, y'all, until I went to wherever I was gonna sleep, and then I wouldn't see it no more. So that's what it made me think about, is animals that if demons can manifest themselves as animals, then I'm sure that angels can too, because we know that there are heavenly beings that have animal traits or characteristics or whatever. So I'm just thinking about how in one world that the animals was angels, and in another place you saw them in their natural form. But with the kids walking around with their spirit on the outside of them as an animal, it's just showing you the connection between both worlds, that animals can be portrayed as an angel, they can also be portrayed as a demon. Do you see what I'm saying? Because in one world they was angels, in another world the animal running next to the person is a demon.
Right. Did y'all pick up the name of the subtle knife, what it meant?
I did not.
Ashtar, it means God destroyer. And that's what he needed. That's what Azrael was looking for in order to go and fight for this battle. Because remember that knife can cut between whatever.
Worlds.
It made sense that they would make Enoch or Metatron the god that they're talking about, the region of or whoever, because then the knife would be able to destroy him. But that's what it meant. I was like, God destroyer is the name of this knife? Like, okay. Interesting.
Which makes sense, because the fallen angels are the ones that taught men to make swords and shields. And amulets, which is charmed things. And in order to kill a god, you would have to have something that was, a charmed thing, seeing as how natural things can't go to heavenly places.
Right, because they were the ones with the wars, because it's like they knew they was going to do the wars from the jump, because they had already did what they was doing. Yep. So before Babel even happened, they were already going to war, so they had to make the stuff in the weapons of Ra, or whatever the case may be, I'm sorry. And then did you notice the bear was the only one who could fix the knife? What's his name? Loyic Burningston, whatever.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm like, it's interesting because he had all that armor and all that metal, but he's the only one who could fix.
Remember though, his armor came from a metal that came from the
heaven.
sky.
Mm-hmm.
Sky,
the sky metal.
Exactly. So then, therefore, is more of that the fallen ones and the ones who taught workers of this and workers of that? Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because if you think about it, right, they still are finding metal pieces and different things, and they say they can't find a metal like this specific metal on Earth. When they go to those archaeological digs down in Mexico and all of these different places, they have metals or the way that they manufactured it. They said they don't understand how they did that with just fire and this and that, because like a lot of the Japanese swords, the older swords that they had,
There's literally a Japanese sword called the Demon Slayer. But I think it's so funny that Azrael is looking for this knife, right? Or did y'all know that Methuselah had a magic sword, and he used this sword? It was a divine sword, and it had the name of God on the sword, and he used it to kill hundreds of thousands of demons.
I did not know that.
Could Azrael have been looking for Methuselah's sword?
He very well could have. That's crazy.
And then did y'all see the angel at the beginning of season 2, the first episode, the statue of that angel? Don't it look a lot like the ones at the Hoover Dam?
It does. And to me, like one of the Golden Globes, don't one of them got some wings and
with the wings on them.
Yeah. Yeah. And where else have we seen that? The awards, like you said, at the Hoover Dam, and it's somewhere else we didn't see them angels. I don't. Is it in Rome that they got some angels that look similar to that? I don't know if it's Rome or where else, but I feel like we've seen that specific angel another place. But if you think about it too, how their wings look, ain't that how Superman's cape look? In a sense, like when it be flying behind him, how the wings, how they have them coming down like that.
Yep.
If you think about it, superhumans, right?
Yeah.
They said though that the Hoover Dam is a portal, and they said it's an ancient Egyptian temple or pyramid under there. Ain't that what they said about the Hoover Dam?
And isn't it draining out right now too? Interesting.
For just in case something need to come out of there.
Right, because I'm like, what just took place on the 12th, and then you got the water levels draining in specific places, like specific places. Oh, okay.
Girl, listen.
Check mark.
That part. That part. All right, Danny. We're going to let Rika get in here for a minute.
Okay.
And then, hey, Goody, listen, I love this. Come on, y'all. I might need me some more coffee.
Oh, wait a minute, child. I don't have nothing today. I'm just up here.
Oh, okay. All right. That's all right. You in the classroom. Hey, it is what it is. We love you. What about you, hey, Goody? What you got?
With Rika, same thing. There's a couple things that popped up when y'all were talking. I still gotta get my subscription, but I got paid today.
You all right?
So, I was thinking a lot of the stuff, because I've been binge watching Supernatural in my free time too. A lot of stuff, like, I remember y'all were talking about something psychological. They're doing that in season 12. I guess they had brainwashed Mary, their mom, into just being a killer. But the things with the demon knives and the angel knives, and like it's all kind of running through my head right now.
Cause Sam, didn't he go to another dimension and it's black and white, just like the dimension that they went into when the little fairy dude or the girl, remember, it's all, if you look after he broke the knife, the one where they stayed in there, right? that world was black and white, like white and gray. It looks almost exactly like where either it was either Sam or Dean. I can't remember which one of them they. It was like where they went, and I think that's where they found their mama at because they was fighting the demons and stuff in there. But the world was all black and white. There was no other color. Do y'all remember this?
I remember vaguely. They time traveled or, did different dimensions a couple times throughout the season.
Yeah. It was a black and white world just like that one. And that world was void of color. The last place that they was at before they went and saw Azrael, before they went to the land of the dead. It was void of color. There was no color on the mountains. Everything was just white. White and gray.
Also, the when you were talking about the animals, it brought me back to this situation I was in because I've been pet sitting for a few years. So it was in Houston. I was walking. The owner said he goes a certain way, but I forgot the way, and I let the dog bleed. We passed by a graveyard, and there's this husky that comes up. It feels like it's like there but not there. So the dog's collar, he had one of those training collars that kind of has the prong collars. It drops 3 times. I look back after the third time, and the dog's completely gone. Like it was almost like a spirit dog, whatever. I don't know what it was, but it kind of like it was there. I don't know how to describe the feeling. Like kind of ethereal. And so I look up, and when I was in New Orleans, I went on like the grave tours with my friends or whatever, and they were like, "You gotta take pictures with the flash off to see what's around." So I did that. There was little orbs and stuff, whatever. And I was like, "Okay, let me go on back to the house." And so I look up huskies and their meaning, and they're nicknamed ghost dogs. So I was like, "Is that right? I don't know." But it just made me think when you were little and how the animals came and kind of protected you. I was like,
well, I'm going to tell you what's crazy. My auntie, my mom's oldest sister, she's always had huskies, and they have the two different color eyes. And those dogs always gave me the heebie jeebies. And she'd be like, "Oh, they're nice and this, that, and the other." No, I don't care what you say. And now that I think about it, they look like the White Walker dogs.
"Oh yeah." And with that, it was crazy because I know I secured that collar, and people are kind of against it, but I just did it because it kind of hurts the dog. So when he came around and that dropped 3 times, I was like, "Oh no, I need to get up out of here."
Yeah. I believe in my heart a lot of animals are spirits. I've had several different encounters. And even since my kids, right before I moved here, the last crazy animal encounter I had was okay. Hold on now. Are you okay, Miss? Oh, okay, yeah. Cause I don't just let. I don't know if you did the homework or not, but my daughters were getting up to go to school, and my middle daughter, her boyfriend, that came to pick them up, and it was like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever time they had to be at school by 6. It's probably like 5:30, and I saw him pull up, so I got up to open because we had like French doors. I told y'all this story already, and when he came in, I felt like I saw something go behind his feet. Just like a real quick black flash right by his feet. But he had on like black Jordans, so I didn't think nothing about it. Y'all, why was it a black cat that had ran in my house? And then that black cat came and sat on. It was like gray, dark gray, black color. Came and sat on my porch, like every day for like a month. Then the cat went away. I guess the cat ended up being pregnant. Why did the baby, after she had the kittens, the baby started coming and sitting on my porch? We never fed them, nothing. They would just come and sit and look in my windows like this. Well, I had the French doors, with all the panes on them. It would just come and sit and look in my door like this. My daughter had to chase the cat out, but why is you sneaking in my house? Like literally, it went. Oh no, the ancestors can't come to my house. They're not welcome.
I believe you, because that happens to me. Now I'm different from you, because all the animals come to my house. I don't know. I guess they know that I'm gonna feed them, so all the animals come to my house. I've had to give flea baths to baby puppies, baby kid. They all come to my house, but they do that. They'll come to your door, and it's like they're trying to get inside by any means, and they'll literally just like, when the kittens come to my house, they just pop up out of nowhere. I don't know where they came from. They'd be like, they couldn't have been a few days old. Like, they'd be kittens, and they just pop up at my house, and I'm always having to either mend them, bring them food, give them shelter, and then like after a few days they be gone. They don't stay, but I'll like nurse them up to a certain age and then they leave.
No, God don't need it. God, He know better. I don't know what to tell you, Dad, because I can't do it. I be like, no, cause I don't know. I didn't have. Sorry, God. That's why you got daddies, cause I can't nurse them back to health. Now I ain't just horrible, right? But I be too nervous, especially with the kind of stuff that be going on in my life. I just be thinking, this is an entity trying to get into my home. You know what I'm saying? For me, because I don't know how to explain it, but it's like that has always been a thing for me. I pay attention to it. Like if an animal just come out of nowhere, literally my senses are heightened. You know what I mean? And I don't know why, but I feel like that. Like even I told y'all, like when I got our dog, and she only talked to me for however long, and then she started talking to the other people. I said, oh no, y'all, I'm telling y'all, this dog is talking to me. And they was like, you crazy. I said, no, she is. And then she started talking to them. Girls making me hot just thinking about the animals coming around.
Well, see, I don't let them in my house. I let them, I'll just feed them. Like I have a bunch of food bowls and stuff. Because I have a dog myself. It's a German Shepherd. But she doesn't let random people come to like our threshold. I just put food bowls in the front, and so they can come and hang out in the front, but they can't come in the house or in my yard. Like that's not happening.
Girl.
Yeah, I will say, because I've been doing it since 2022. Some of the pets that I have, they creep me out, but they all have different personalities, which is odd. And some of them just seem like they understand whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying. They just, I don't know. But one other thing about that story with the ghost dog, I had told another lady I set her dog for. She was Indian. She was like, oh yeah, that's a ghost dog. And then I had told this man I was dating the same story, and he was Native American. He said, oh yeah, that's a ghost dog. So that's when I looked it up, and I was like,
Hello, Dad. It's a goodie. Yeah, she keeps running into ghost dogs and people keep. Yeah, see, this is why I don't want the animals at the. Right, because I be thinking it's a ghost cat or dog. Right, a spirit animal. Right, okay. I just wanted to call Dad and make sure that he know that you be okay with the spirit dogs coming to your house, because I'd be terrified.
No, I had to anoint my house after that. I was like, oh no.
And see, that's funny that y'all said that, because I was telling my husband when the baby kitten, now this kitten, the last one that came, my husband was like, it's a cat outside, and I'm like, where the cat at? And he was like, it's a cat right there, and I looked, and this little baby cat, and I'm like, come on now, but the thing that's so funny is I was literally supposed to get some kittens, because y'all know we had the snakes, and the reason we had the snakes was because there was mice in my back, because they were getting to my chicken's feed, basically. So I'm like, I understand why the snakes are here, so I gotta get rid of these mice. So somebody was supposed to be giving me some kittens because their cat had just had kittens, but then something happened, the kittens got ran over. So I had all this stuff to have, I had built a little house for them and everything, and then I didn't end up having no kittens. And so that kitten showed up, and I'm like, maybe I'll keep this kitten. But then I was like, wait a minute, this kitten came out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on. And then I had a puppy. My puppy is like, she about 5 or 6 months, but she a German Shepherd, so nobody don't know she a puppy, and she big. And she was like slinging the cat around. So I'm like, no, I can't have you around here with the kitten because she didn't know no better. She thinking it's a toy. So I was like, I wanted to have a cat because of the mice, but I couldn't keep it because, like I said, the baby kittens will show up. They'll be here for a few days and then they just leave.
I don't trust cats. Sorry, cat lovers. I do not trust cats. I'm sorry. I just feel like they're just creepy, and that's just.
And I'm not a cat person at all. Like I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person. But cats, for some reason, since I've been living here, they be showing up, and I'm like, I ain't gonna not feed you, but yeah, I'm not. You're not. I'm not your owner. I'm not. Me and cats, we don't get along like that.
Yeah,
I'm a cat person. My cat is right here purring right now.
Sorry, cat, but Auntie be nervous. Listen, girl.
I was telling my mom they be using these animals to, like, certain spirits be using these animals to look in on you. Because I was studying when I was intensively looking into Cain and whatnot a few days ago. Everything would be fine, peaceful. Then all of a sudden, my mom calls me. She's like, "There's a fly in the house. Come down, kill the fly." I get back to my studies. All of a sudden, as soon as I get back into it again, there's another fly in the house. What's going on? I told my mom, I said, look up which spirit uses flies. So tell me, so Beelzebub spying on me now?
Listen, that's funny that you said that because I had the same problem. I'm in here swatting flies left and right. I'm like, where are these flies coming from? Like, I have chickens and I got that, but they don't be coming in my house. Like, the flies they never cross that threshold, but they have been coming in lately, and I'm like, why are flies coming in here? Like, how are they getting in here? Now, I'll be getting them when they get in here, but the fact that they showing up is irritating me. Like, stay out of my house.
Literally, as soon as I looked up and uncovered the link between Uriel and Hell and all that, all of a sudden, I've never had this problem before.
Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay, can I give y'all a scenario? I think I told y'all this. When I was 28 or 29, I was 28. It was right before I turned 29. I had moved into this house. Now, the people that lived in the house before me, I think I told y'all, they ran like a, what do you call it? Not a kind of like a foster home, but not a foster home. You know, like they were like the placement for the kids until they went to the foster home type deal. You know what I mean? Like emergency protection. So they might be there a month, 2 weeks, whatever, right? And I felt like this is also the house where the kids used to run up and down the highway, and when my auntie would come visit, she'd be like, I got ready to whip them kids last night. I don't know who was up running around, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, ain't no, my kids was asleep. And she used to be like, no, there's kids running up and down the hallway because your kids almost got a whooping. Now, mind you, she military, so, you know, she sleep light. You know what I mean? It ain't no, she up in a minute looking whatever. The guy that just did all that stuff in early January, this is around the time that we got together. And he woke up the first night he spent at my house and was like, what was your kids doing last night? I said, what do you mean? I said, my kids was in the bed, I guarantee you. And he went upstairs, I guess, and he talked to my auntie, and she was like, oh, yeah, no, there's kids that run around up and down the stairs here at night, right? Y'all, do y'all know right before I got ready to move out of that house, 2 things happened. My garage was completely, the whole floor of my garage was covered with maggots. They came out of nowhere, right? I'm talking about the whole floor. There was no trash in there. There was no nothing. The whole floor was covered with maggots in my garage. And then also, that's also the place where when he and I got ready to move to the West Coast, and I told y'all those 3 big Dobermans was circling the car, like we had went in to lock up, and we were literally getting ready to go get on the highway. And there was 3 big Dobermans circling my car to where he had to throw bricks at these big old dogs because we don't even know where they came from. Like hellhounds. Y'all, I think y'all heard my son tell that story, like hellhounds. So there were so many spiritual things that happened in that house. It made me wonder about what Miss Nicole was talking about, if those children were being abused and if there was fear there, because that's also the place where my daughter was telling me that lady was in the window when she was 5 years old. And I told her she was crazy because we was upstairs. And then Insidious came out. And when we watched it, she said, Mommy, that's the lady that was in my window. So definitely these flies and different things come around. And it's crazy because, again, now that I think about, oh my God, y'all just made me think about something. When we moved here, Flies got in my car. When he moved in with me, they were in my garage. He also had unalived somebody. Beelzebub is the Lord of Flies, and normally when you die, if your body is left out, and even if it's not, even if it's in the house, what comes? Flies.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Lord, that reminds me of a story. I had a lot of things going on in Houston, spiritual warfare, before I moved. My neighbor, she was a odd lady. Uh, she believed in different things. Her and the guy downstairs had gotten an argument, and I sided with the guy downstairs. When I tried to walk up my stairs, she tried to push me down. So we were just kind of butting heads against that. She smiled in my face and act like she cared, but I don't know. It was just weird after that. So maybe that following week, I started getting, and I have never had the landlord. He sprayed. It was a little fourplex. He sprayed all the time, like once a month, and I never had issues with any insects. Well, after that incident, I started getting flies, gnats, and roaches out of nowhere. And he ended up going to jail. And with me, it was infestation like crazy. But her apartment was fine. The other people's apartments were fine. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. My mom came and she had to anoint the house. And they let up, but...
Pestilence.
See, that's insane. And like, since we bought this house, like, not long after we moved in here, somebody literally completely tore apart a bird. Like, they ripped it apart and left it in our yard, right in front of like this tree that sits in like the middle of our yard. We walked the perimeter of the house, and we prayed, put down oil. But do you know that since we cleaned up that bird, since all that happened with that bird, that grass there has been dead ever since?
Lord. Oh, and the guy that I was dating, he was born and raised there. He said that it used to be. He was like, oh yeah, I used to date somebody here. And then before that, it was a psychic. I don't know. It was like a psychic whatever shop or whatever downstairs. I was like,
That's what it was. You already know them spirits that they a psychic shop. They calling all the entities from portals from God knows where.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just
gonna think of Amityville Horror, because horror was happening on that land before, and that's why when that man was up in there, because what he was doing over there.
I told y'all.
And you remember going back to the lady in the window in Amityville Horror when they were trying to escape the house, the man popped up in the window.
The window.
But it's making me listen. Y'all said spiders. The same house. Well, when we moved here, when the fly baby showed up in my car, in my carpet, we also had an infestation of brown recluse. Mind you, I had lived there 2 years. We might see 1 or 2 spiders. Right before we moved out, which is when I went to jail, which is when we were using the ghost hunter thing, which is when the spirit was at the end of my door, and I took it through there and asked my kid first. We took it through there. We found all the hot spots, and then my kids came home 3 hours later and showed us, and every spot that demon hunter thing was going crazy on is where my kids said they felt scared at, right? Spiders showed up in all of those places. But my baby that just had her baby, my youngest, she used to say that the cat from Alice in Wonderland used to be in her closet because used to be all this stuff just falling. The ball, she would always tell me, Mom, that cat is throwing the ball out of the thing. So I had to start like closing her doors. Well, that's also the place where the infestation of the spiders showed up. That's also the place where we heard the voice say, kill she 3 times. And then his car door started slamming, even though they was locked. He's getting up, running outside to check the car. But we found out that the man did a unaliving and an unaliving of someone else on that property in the 70s.
The Voice was telling that man the same thing in Amityville Horror. Literally, what you just said, he was at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's why everybody was talking about something about 3 o'clock. That little pentagram thing would show up on the TV, and the Voice would tell him to do exactly that. It would say that. I'm like, that's.
Hold
when
on.
you said that, it just freaked me out just a second. Like,
yeah, because
wait a minute now.
No, wait,
that
hold
Voice
on.
told that man to do that.
Hold on, though. This the thing, though. And remember, I told y'all the day. Okay, so he had came over to the house. Remember, I told y'all every time this man came to my house, like the air conditioner would go out, the water heater would bust. It was just all the heat would go out, like every single time. After we had broken up, we were broken up for 10 months. And if he came to my house, the next day I would have a flat tire. It was just like always something crazy after he would leave. Well, that makes me think about it because one day he had driven out to my house, and when he got there was no snow. But it snowed while he was in the house, right? Do y'all know? Remember I told y'all when we went outside there was a pentagram. It looked like somebody had took their hand. And mind you, there was no snow when he came to the house. 4 hours later, 5 hours later, when he was leaving, we went outside, and he is the one that he said, "What the F?" And I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Nigga, it's a pentagram on the front of this car." Literally, like somebody drew it perfectly in the snow, but you could tell it fell like that. You see what I'm saying? It didn't look like, you know how when you draw with your finger in the snow, you can kind of see the curves around your finger. It's like somebody literally put like a stamp almost.
Like a stamp. Yeah, like a stamp. Yeah.
Okay, this is the house where the man had unalived it. And the people, when we moved in there, okay, said every family that lives there, it's fine for a while. And then after you know it, the police is being called like every other week. They're fighting and this, that, and the other. That is where he kicked the TV through my window. That is where he tried to run me over with my car. That's where he punched me in my head, and and pulled a gun on my brother. All of that happened. Mind you, we had never had any fights like that in the first 9 months that we were together. And when we moved in there, I called it War of the Roses house because literally we were fighting almost to the death in that place, and I was constantly calling the police on this man. But again, when we finally, I was like, I can't do this no more. We need to find something like to hear the white noise. He was saying kill sheep. And y'all see what he just did.
Literally, and what you just said is Amityville, because they were literally, when they went to go buy a house, like when the weird stuff started happening, the woman or the wife went to go research, and they was talking about how multiple people were in that home and stuff was happening, and that very same thing was happening. But it would come, and all the families would end up being unalived there by one of the members that was there because of what started there. So you literally like lived another Amityville horror, just wasn't in Amityville.
Literally, because that's the place where I told y'all my daughters both had a dream Monday and Tuesday, where they were like, "Mommy, you left with Mr. Such and Such, and you never came back." And then it would end up happening with this lady. She got on the car with she was last seen with him. And she had the daughter, and her daughter never saw her again. So yeah, I feel a little weak at the knees. Baby, let me give me some water. Hold on.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I had a similar man that was kind of bringing the weird stuff. I don't say that, just bringing the weird stuff.
You just gotta take a deep breath when you be hearing this stuff. Like, ooh. Wait a minute.
It was that same guy that I was talking about the ghost dog, and something else I mentioned.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
Well, I had a similar instance with a guy. The one that I talked about the ghost dog with. He was one of them people that in that club. When I first started dating him, I saw the little symbol on one of his pillows. I asked him, I was like, "Oh, you one of them?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, but I'm not active." And I'm looking like, you can't get out unless you get out through Jesus. I don't know what you're talking about, because that's how my dad did. And so he was like, yeah, I don't actively go to the meetings and stuff, but I still was looking at him sideways the whole time. With him in that apartment, that's the same apartment that I dated him while I was dating him. I had I don't know what an incubus is, a male. That came to me.
Yep.
I almost burned my apartment down with a candle. No, it was incense. I was burning incense, and it had fell in the planter and burned the plant and the plastic and the soil, but it didn't burn anything else around.
You know what I think sometimes? If those people have cursed, like being cursed, or like you said, the Masonic orders, I think that spirits attached to these people, because old boy's dad was a Mason and he kept trying to get him into it, and I think he eventually did, but grandma was witch. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think the same way we pray over our lineage that God send angels, they do the same thing. And you got to think, if a person is a Satanist, right, or whatever it is, right, they're going to pray the type of protection that keeps them away from Christians, right? So if you have a person that has a relationship with God in the house with a person that excuse me oh, I don't know what this is, that it's literally that spiritual battle, like how we saw in His Dark Materials, where it's these two angels just on opposite sides fighting in the house, but of course everything happens spiritually first, right? So thank you. So you think about, if these people's families have prayed curses over them, or what we would call curses, but they're wards, that's also to ward, I mean, because they're warding also against the angels that they're fighting against. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're putting demons around their children to protect, because ain't that like what the drug dealers do? The like the cartels and stuff like that, they pray for, well, certain, they pray to certain what you call, excuse me, saints. Like certain saints are over this drug dealer or that person, you know, and they kiss the little thing and say, oh, you know, this is how we do our running and blah 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 blah. Well, those are probably just demons, right?
I'm about to expose how nerdy I am, but in Dungeons and Dragons, they call them your patron. This is who you get your power from. This is your source.
The Patry again.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon?
Patriarch.
But Father of the Eons? A Patreon?
Yep. Yep.
Oh my goodness. The patron, the Patry. I gotta go blow my nose. Y'all. Oh.
And also with him, I found out, or he found out going through his history. Because he, and my parents peeped it too. They were like, he had all mixed up into stuff. Because he was part of that club. His dad was Muslim, like Nation of Islam, and then his mom was Christian. He finds out that back in history, his great whatever grandpa was a slave owner, a black slave owner. And he has that same issue of control and thinking that he could use people to do his bidding. But they were connected. The neighbor that I was talking about, she got married to one of his brothers, quote unquote brothers, in their temple or something. And then he disappeared and left, whatever. And so I was just like, it's crazy how people, it felt like I was being surveyed.
I think you were.
Yeah.
Definitely being surveyed. They was looking for their next little whatever.
One of their wives. I wasn't going to be that. Because
we all live the same lives in different fonts at this point.
Because I would run, like, I'm not from there, but I would run into the people that knew me because I used to work at like a vegan store. So there, I had a lot of people that were like, come in, and a lot of people that were like nation people and people in that club. And I would just be randomly walking somewhere. Oh, you know, what's it called? Or they'd see us together, somebody that comes in the store or whatever. Oh, I didn't know you knew each other.
Mm-hmm. And especially when you deal with those people in that club, you never know who they know. Like, for my family, my great-grandfather was a high-ranking member of their club. And when I went to the military and somebody started giving me trouble, my first sergeant literally calls me into his office, flashes his ring at me, and tells me he's going to handle it. They won't give you trouble anymore.
They there. They in the military.
To find out, somehow or another, my grandfather passes word to him that this is happening and he don't like it.
My uncle's still in that club and he a Baptist preacher. I'm like,
they be in the church heavy. And it's because, you know, it's the first time we already know going down a whole rabbit hole with that, but they definitely in the church.
Yeah, he got sons into it and everything. I'm like, oh Lord.
But even with like my ex-husband, come to find out, his family is heavily involved in all of that too. I didn't know that until after I had already married him. We had a kid and all that. And then doing genealogy, come to find out, like 100, maybe a little over 100 years ago at this point, his family and mine had already crossed paths. So somehow or another, about 100, almost like to the T, 100 years later, he and I get together after our families.
That's something that they had wanted to happen, basically, or you just.
That's kind of what it seems like.
Because I don't believe in no chance or coincidence. Yeah. I just don't. I feel like things happen because it was predestined to happen, or somebody forced it to take place. Like. Yeah.
And it's literally, come to find out, he knows about all this stuff that his family was into within that organization. Of course, he didn't tell me any of that. And then also, I found out later, his mother was a witch, even though she'd be the first one screaming and hollering in the pews at church. But she started going against me when I wouldn't give her access to my son. Because they literally tried to get me, when my son was 3 months old, they tried to get me to send my son to her.
That's what happened with my neighbor. The guy disappeared. She said he was kidnapped. I don't know what went on, but that's what the story from her is. And they had taken, the CPS had taken her kids, and she was just like kind of going crazy because she was like, I don't, because they're in the government, they're everywhere. She's like, I don't know what they're doing. They've been trying to take my kids. And so she didn't want them in the system. She was fighting the courts, and I don't even know if she ever got her kids back. But yeah, she was an odd one. She believed in different things. Like, I tried to bring Jesus in the conversation. She talked about the Anunnaki. I was like, well, they part of it.
You know, my ex-husband, towards the end, when he finally started like exposing himself, and I told him, I was like, okay, well, maybe you should pray with me. Maybe we should pray together. He literally told me, I'll start praying when your God start listening.
Yeah, that sounded like how my aunt, before she passed away, she was heavily into the Anunnaki and all that, and I was trying to explain to her the story that she was giving me. I'm like, it's the same story. It's just they're giving different names. And she was like, well, y'all talk about Jesus. I'm like, well, even if you don't call him Jesus, you're talking about Isis and Horus, and I'm like, you're literally talking about Jesus, Joseph, and Mary, but you don't know that because you're reading it from this aspect. You're not getting it. And she was like telling me that the Bible was wrong and it's a lie and all. I'm like, they be heavy in it when they get into it, and then when they get it, nobody can tell them anything else. That's all they're going to be able to see. And when you say he said what he said, that's kind of what she was kind of doing too. Like, well, when he started, prove that he's alive or prove that he can hear you and all these other things. Like,
mind you, I met him at church. They were the main ones in the front row, clapping, hooting, hollering, shouting, and all of that. I met him and his family in church, and then like he turns around and he starts like, I don't know, I guess laying down with any and everything, walking around with all kinds of diseases handing them out. And he literally told me, and this was shortly before I found out that's what he was doing, because I got up out of there after I found that out. And he literally told me he start praying when my God start listening. Yeah, that's quite literally what he told me.
That guy I was dating, he was on the same level, like, why pray? Because,
that's what they said. And I was approached when I was in the Navy. I didn't even realize that they were in, like you said, they were in the military. I'm like, I didn't realize that they were there because I'm like, well, why are y'all coming to me about, it was like, it wasn't the ESs, it was like a different, a different group, but they're all like the same. And then my senior chief, he was like, well, yeah, it's connections, and we get pulled over, and I'm just like, well, I'm cool. I mean, I ain't doing nothing to get pulled over anyway, so I'm cool. I don't really need to do none of that stuff. But they kept trying to approach me, and I'm just like, I'm good, like, and I feel like they look for certain people, like certain types of people, and I'm just
they
like,
do,
man.
Especially if they know that somebody is connected. Because, like I said, my great granddaddy was one, and at his funeral, his club had to do something with the body in secret before any of us were ever allowed to view it, before any work was done, before any of that. And during his funeral, like, it was an open casket, but only from like the neck up.
And then with that, back to my uncle and him doing stuff. I find out through so he's very successful, and with them, they're throughout the structure of the government, throughout the structure of the military. The uncle that I have, that's, like, everybody got that uncle. He was like, oh yeah. It was actually, my grandma had married a guy that was just not good. And his son had told, because he grew up in the house or whatever, his son had told my sister, because they used to play together when they were little, but we were always never like allowed to be near our grandma that much. Like, we visit, but it wasn't like of close relationships. Come to find out, the guy, he says, oh yeah, grandma used to do hair. She used to everybody and this is a small town, like small in the woods of North Carolina. People used to come to her house and she'd breathe on them, and she had fire breath. They called it fire breath. And I was like, what the? And so that's how I found out my grandma was doing some, well, on my dad's side, was doing some witchy stuff. And
stuff you don't like, they don't expose it to you right away. Like, they gradually expose themselves.
Because by the time I was born, my parents my dad got saved in England, and so they went through getting saved, and that only happened after he had one of their Bibles, and he was in the military. He was working. He went to work. My mom was home. She opened the Bible, and an entity came out and started trying to choke her. And so she's calling Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And then she was like, you got to get out after this. So they turned it around, got delivered and stuff.
Oh, I believe, listen, when I tell you, it's so crazy how all of our stories are so similar. Because when I met old boy, he was literally reading a Masonic Bible, and I had never seen one. I was 28, and I said, let me see that, because I was studying, not like I am now, but I was studying, and I was like, the Masons don't believe in God. And he was like, yes, they do, or else why would they have this Bible? And I looked through, there was all the presidents in the front, and secretaries of state, and this, that, and the other in there, and there was all of this, right? Well, I end up throwing the Bible away. Like one of the times we got into it or whatever. And then my cousin ended up giving him a book called The Illuminated Sun Within. Well, when my cousin gave him the book, I was like, you know, it's something to read. He was talking about Egyptian gods and this, that, and the other. Okay, you know, it is what it is. Well, once he started, it was when we moved to that house. Once he started reading that book, because he used to read to me until I went to sleep. That was like our thing. We would take turns reading to each other before we went to bed. And after about 2 weeks of him doing that, yeah, I started feeling like my mom was slipping out of my ears. And I know this sounds really, 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 really crazy, but I literally started feeling like, this is when I told y'all when I ran to the bathroom and I cupped my hands over my ears. I didn't realize that a lot of the stuff that man was reading in there, they were parts of spells. And he was reading it to me while I was asleep. Well, think about it. Baby, because I was like, not that I was believing any of it, but when I say that's also when a lot of the spiritual stuff started happening at our house, right? When I tell y'all it was crazy, and when I threw that book away, and he found out I threw that book away, y'all, when I say when I hadn't seen him for almost, it was 9 years, he said, I still ain't forgot that you threw that book away. He said, you know, that book is worth $2,500 right now. They don't got this, that, and the other. And I was like, I don't care. You didn't need it. But that's literally at the time. Now, I be thinking, if my cousin hadn't gave him that book, would he have went? Because mind you, even though his grandma, he didn't even know his grandma was a witch. I'm the one that told him his grandma was a witch. Like, literally, I was like, God told me somebody dedicated you to the devil when you was born. And he was like, man, I don't want to hear that. Within a week, he was sitting in front of his grandmother and his great uncle, and the grandma was crying because her kids, whatever. I told y'all this story before, and the great uncle turned to him and said, you didn't think about that when you was doing all that witchcraft. And he called me mind blown. He was like, I don't know how you. I said, I told you, God told me. Well, the grandma's the one that named him and everything. You know what I'm saying? She was the witch. Like, she's the lady that I told you I went in the room, supposedly went to lay down, and when she came out, her hair was completely white, and she was only like 30 something years old. Whatever she conjured scared her to where her hair went white, and it has never gone back. She's worn wigs ever since she was 32 years old because of it. Pure white. So ain't no telling, that could have been the thing, because just like we pray a guardian angel over our child or whatever, I'm just thinking that the spirit that he drew, that he felt like had been chasing him his whole life, maybe grandma put it there. And you got to think, when he got with me, he started to go to church. He was like taking off certain things. He didn't talk to his family as much. He wasn't going around them as much. Like, God was bringing him over to this side. I think grandma wasn't happy with that. So it makes me think about the Masonic avenue of it from his dad, and then his grandma was a whole witch. So if these spirits have had free reign, because nobody in their family really went to church, so if these spirits have had free reign over him his whole life, and then like people like us that do have some type of relationship with God come into these people's lives, it's like, of course, the demons that answer to their Masonic leaders or to the witch or the warlock of the family, they're gonna go back and say, you know, this person is being pulled away, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a spiritual battle over a soul. You know what I mean?
Seen that movie, Ready or Not, when the mom tells the wife he just married to bring him back into the fold?
Yes.
It's on it's on Disney. Both the movies are on Disney Plus. It's Ready or Not 1 and 2. Is it Hulu? Yeah,
it's on both of them. If you got a Hulu and Disney, you can link the accounts. Yeah, it's on both of them.
But yeah, and it just made me think though, because I'm like I said, my ex-husband, my son's father. On one side, you have his mother, who is very much a witch, but you will see her all up in people's churches. Mm-hmm. And then his And his daddy and them, that's the Masonic side right there. That's why I be telling you, you be all in my life, and I don't think you know it.
Girl, now we be having the same lives for real. Because everything you just said about this girl, listen here.
Y'all remember when you said that? What just made me think of that movie, The Skeleton Key? Because remember, nothing was working until she started to believe what that lady was. Remember how they were talking about the voodoo situation in The Skeleton Key when she went over there and it was the mama, the lady that she was supposed to be a caretaker for, and then the guy who was like the lawyer, but they were actually the original people who started it. Mm-hmm. She was doing this whole thing, and it was like, it don't work on you unless you believe. But they were doing things to scare her into believing. Like, she didn't believe nothing that was going on, but they were doing stuff to trick her. And she started putting the salt pentagrams and the whole thing. And what ended up happening was her believing is how they were able to get into her body, because she started to do the stuff that they were telling her was the protection, but it wasn't a protection. It was actually gathering them in. So when you said it about your ex, it made me think of maybe they were tricking him, like deception. They were tricking him into doing things that is actually bringing him in instead of like pushing him out of it.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that goes back to what Nicole said about the Adrian. When they trick them into whatever they doing, that's the way the entity, like, that's how they, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fear is how they end up getting to the place where they walking around like a zombie. They're not in control. They're not even there anymore. So it makes sense. All of it is.
Could that be why it says God didn't give you the spirit of fear? Because again, this is crazy that we was talking about this, because I was literally talking to my mom about that very scripture, and I'm like, everybody's like, well, I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. I'm like, well, yeah, you can do it, but you're afraid. But that fear is false, because when you're afraid, you can't think properly. Yeah. All logic and reason goes out of your mind. So when I'm doing certain things, people are like, you shouldn't be doing that. You're not scared. I'm like, I can't be scared, because if I'm scared, I can't do what I need to do. Yeah. And because if God didn't give me the spirit of fear, then that means me being scared is false. It's not true. So therefore, I gotta reject that and then go do what I gotta do.
Yeah, because through Christ we can do all things.
Exactly.
Y'all making me think. Okay, so think about this, right? When they put the nodes on you, right, to measure like brain activity, right, and they'll put stuff in front of you to see if you get the fear response, so that this part of your body or that part of your body, whatever. But think about it. With psychopaths, isn't it only a certain part of their brain that lights up and the rest of it be dark or something like that? It's like when their brain, it's like something in their brain, they don't feel fear, or it's something like that, to where their brain lights up in a completely different way from a normal brain. And it makes you wonder if when they are testing these frequencies out on us and they're doing all of these different things, because think about it, right now a lot of the people in the world are fearful and anxious, right? What also is picking up right now? Demonic activity.
Like Divergent, that's what was going on in Divergent. They had them hooked up, they were putting them in a ptosis or whatever, and they were monitoring how they was getting out of certain situations, and they could tell who was a divergent by who realized that the situation was not real.
Who could control their fear. It was literally a controlling of the fear.
Giving them situations that would make them fearful of whatever their highest fear was. If they were putting them in that, and if they controlled it and got out of it, that's how they knew they were divergent. They could not be controlled.
Which makes sense, because the people that they recruit into the 3-letter agencies are normally magically adept, and they don't know. Think about it. Yeah. They can see things, they can remember, they can do all of these different things that the average human cannot do. What they tell us in MIB, we recruit the best of the best.
Yep.
That go back to the GATE program, though, because how often were they sitting there testing what our responses would be to certain things? How would you figure this out? How do you get out of this situation? What do you think of this? Can you read this in a certain amount of time and tell me exactly what it is that you read? How's your memory? Can I put a piece of information in front of you, tell you to go do something else, and you come back and be able to tell me what that piece of information was?
The speed reading test and all of that stuff. Yeah. This
I did a psychiatric exam last year, and the test seemed so simple. Like, well, not simple, because some things are like, you have to think about it, but it just seems elementary how they test you. And then they come back with, you have this personality disorder, or you have whatever going on. So, and it takes probably like, one day I was there for 5 hours. The other day I was there for like 6 hours. I was trying to get, I had to get it to get part of the program, on a program. But now that we're talking about how when the GATE program thing popped up, I forgot completely. I forgot about it. But people were talking about that pink drink, which I remember taking early in elementary school in the 90s. And also the sound test specifically. And yeah, it's just psychological control. Like, you know, how can I control this person?
And they be controlled.
Right. I was thinking back to what you had said, because somebody had mentioned karma earlier, and I was sitting there like, karmic law, the Carnelian law, the law that they have to show you or tell you in some way what they're doing to avoid karmic retribution. And it made me think back to, now that we're talking about fear, it made me think back, I don't know if you ever watched it, but the show Avatar: The Last Airbender. In that show, he goes into the spirit world, and there is a spirit called Ko, the face stealer. And if you show him any kind of fear while he's in front of you, he steals your face. Like, you die, he steals your essence, who you are. He can become you.
That's the same thing as the Game of Thrones. The men of many faces. Remember, they were the last face that a person saw before they died, but they would put the face on, and when they put the face of the person on, because remember the little girl from what's her name, she became one of them. And remember, she could be a big grown man. As soon as she put that face on, whenever she put the face on, she was about to unalive the person. That's why, but she was able to hide behind the men, and wasn't they called the men of many faces? Ain't that what they was called? So they're not the same thing?
It really is. And like, he would literally, you would have to sit in his face and be completely still. You would have to control the fear. Right. If you got worked up, if your face shifted, he was able to steal your face.
Somebody said Fringe got the same thing in it. The show Fringe has a person that can steal the faces of the people.
Because isn't that what shapeshifters do? Is that they unalive somebody and then they take on their form, their memories, and everything.
Yeah. Also mimicking spirits. Mimicking spirits take on the form of the person that they was with the whole time and manifest themselves to the loved ones.
Right, that's how they like, oh, well, she's so-and-so came in my dream. And I'm like, that's not so-and-so.
That's not so-and-so.
Yeah. And that's interesting that you just said that, because my aunt, the only reason that you remind me of my aunt is because of the books, right, that you have. But my aunt she was a witch and all that stuff, right? And she passed away right before her 60th birthday back in 2022. And everybody always be talking about, she was the one that was with the Anunnakis and all of these things, and they always be like, oh, she here with us, and I be like, I don't never say nothing to them, but they know how I be feeling about it. But I'm just like, she not here with us. I wish y'all stop playing that.
Yeah.
But then it'll be a picture, and then they'll be like, see, she right there in that picture, and I'll be like, if she is in the picture, that's not her. Yeah. It's the spirit that was following her the whole time, getting y'all to fill up y'all emotions because you think you seeing her in this picture. Like, she's not there. She doesn't know what's going on. Like, come on, y'all. Let's stop doing this. But
and that reminds me of my ex-husband's mother again. She had everybody convinced she was such a church lady and all of that. But in her house,
Girl.
she has multiple. I swear, it looks like an altar to me, where she has the pictures and things of loved ones of hers that have passed on. And from her own words, her own mother was like super evil and horrible. And she has this woman on her altar, and she literally will go and light incense and everything else and have candles lit around her house.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also the one who, she's, like I said, my ex-husband's mother. My ex-husband is the one who had 2 rows of teeth. His brother is the one who had 6 fingers and 6 toes. And they only share a mother. They both have different fathers. His mother is the witch, and his father was the Mason.
You know what? That guy that I was dating, he also, and this is me being green, like not really knowing what's going on, just dating. He also had an altar with his like grandma or what mom or something on it, with oranges. He would do the incense thing.
See, this is the thing. Really quickly, this is why it's important for us to know what magic looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
He also had dimes everywhere, which was very odd. I don't know what it meant, but it was very odd.
No.
Yeah, and his mom was also very much teaching him, you know, intimacy magic, because when we would get into it, she would say things like, when was the last time, and, you know, asking about certain blood things and all of that.
Baby.
And I don't think she thought I picked up on it, but it's like, you can't fool me with magic. I've been reading magic books since I was in the 3rd grade.
Come on, because I need to know who I'm dealing with. Huh?
She used to do. My uncle, the same one who would be like, "Oh, put this scent on. It'll make him do whatever you want." And I used to be like, "Oh, okay." It was just weird to me. And she would always come to me and be like, trying to get me to do these things, and I just would be like, "Okay, auntie," and then I would just
not
like,
do it.
"No, I don't want that." Like,
girl, like I told y'all, my auntie's the one that told us about the man in the drawers in the window and whatnot. I'm like, what? But guess what? Them be the people that have a dang near, like, it turns into obsession, and somebody's gonna get hurt the moment you put magic in it. You know what I'm saying? Because it never turns.
Interesting that you said that, because I really felt like she left here suddenly because that was a way of protection. Because literally, like I was telling you how I found you in 22, but then I ended up leaving because my life was life, and my grandmother passed away, and then a few more months later, my aunt passed away. Her oldest daughter. Now my grandmother saved, you know, apostolic. That's the church that we grew up in, right? And when my grandmother passed and we was at her funeral, that church was packed to, you couldn't even get indoor. The church was packed to the brim, and I felt like the spirit, the Shekinah glory was there, and my aunt felt that, like, because she started talking differently, right? And she started saying things that weren't lining up with what she used to always say. And then a few months later, she ends up having a heart attack. And I'm just like, to me, I felt like that was a way to like get her to leave whatever that stuff she was getting into, because she was about to go where you cannot return. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
No, I'm gonna tell you what's
it's
really
interesting y'all were talking about this, because that encounter with the incubus, whatever thing. It was the form of the guy that I was dating. That was part of that club, and I thought it was I thought it was him. So we did the thing, and I was like, "What?" I'm finding out I'm at my house by myself. What the hell going on?
Baby.
That wasn't the only thing with her. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff.
You gotta think about it though. It's the moment, and it okay. So ain't no kids in here, right? We talked about portals, okay, and the portals on our bodies, right? Again, seeing as how most of these men or women that come into our lives are sent by the devil a lot of times, right? Do we think that they're sending them by themselves? And the moment that we open up our portals, okay, or as men, when y'all project, okay, because think about this. The same way in the movie that we're watching, when they split the person from their demon, that there is a release of energy, That's the exact same thing that happens at ejaculation.
Right.
They, because that's why they fall down, right? Well, what's in that? The spirit of life is in that semen, right? And there is a release of energy.
Yeah.
And that's why they try to double dip and come back to you or go back to that other person, because they are exchanging different spirits, different frequencies, different energies between people. They will literally try to take this person's energy, insert it into you, and transform you into that person.
Which is why you start acting out of character like this ain't even me, because I don't even be tearing up people's stuff, but I'm about to tear your stuff up. I'm about to do that.
This in foreign countries acting a fool. Like, girl, what is you doing?
Baby, you ain't about to get out. You better quit before you be in this jailhouse for a long time.
Right.
CERCA. Okay? Pulling up on folks with that thing on my lap. Like, listen, one of us about to go, and it's probably about to be you because I'm tired. You hear me? But guess what? It's so crazy because, again, in the beginning of our relationship, when we would fall out, all of a sudden this feeling of despair and I don't want to be here no more came. That I had 4 kids. That wasn't a feeling that came after no man. You know what I'm saying? Now, my situation or something, I might be like, I'm gonna give up, but it was only when I got with him that I started feeling like I wanted to unalive myself, like all the time. Does that make sense? Like it was like right here. When I've always wanted to live for my children. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never wanted to get rid of myself because of and I done been through some crazy stuff, but that feeling of unaliving myself was so strong when I was with this dude, and then to find out all these years later, that's how he ends up taking it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how he ended up going out. So it's like, was that spirit already on you? Now, when I was a little kid, I went through my phase of, you know what, I want to be here, that whole teenager thing, whatever. But it, not for a long time. After I had my son, I got a reason to live. Now I got all these kids. I got a reason to live type deal. So it's crazy. You said, does this refer also to a soul tie? That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's what it is. Yeah, soul tie.
Whole time, he's presenting as this super strong, super whatever person, but the spirit that we could not see that was on the inside was unaliving you and unaliving someone else. And that's
you gonna have to get you gonna have to get out of my business. Or you got to get out of my business.
Girl.
Mm-mm.
No,
my ex-husband was that way. Because I had, of course, had this whole thing mentally prior to him, but after him, I had this horrible it was like this agonizing feeling of I just don't want to be here. Come to find out, years prior, he had been institutionalized for this. He had been in the facility, and he was creating these situations trying to make it out like something was wrong with me. Whole time, it's him. He's doing this. And then come to find out, I'm getting all these like aggressive, like angry feelings and all that. Come to find out, this is after he married me that I learned about it. His ex, who she alleges she has 2 kids by him, but there's no DNA test and they won't take one because she confessed that she messed around with his brother, so instead of dad, he might be uncle.
Okay, we gotta be real careful. No, we're not removing her. Why is that? They was something we didn't say it, girl. Because they want me to remove you from our live.
Oh, but no, him and his brother got in a car a few years prior and tried to exit this woman from this plane while the daughter he allegedly has was with them. It was fireworks everywhere, and he almost ended up presenting fireworks to the little girl. They did not care that the girl was with them, and that is allegedly his daughter.
This is this one. He don't. Yeah, but it
just lets me know that these is not beings. Cause like the situation that happened with my mother, nobody would have been able, like when all this stuff happened, people was like they could not believe it. Like not her. She loves her children. Like not her yet because it was not her. the whatever was in her was using her, and it literally took the very thing that she valued over herself, her children. It went after that and using her to do it, which was so crazy. So when it took place, people was like, "What is going on?" Like, yeah, spirits.
Hello.
And one thing about it, I think we had a class. Well, I know we've had a class on when certain sins you have certain illnesses. As I was talking about this with my grandmother, which she had 4 boys, and one girl, the girl passed when she was 6. She had spilled over a lye. She was making soap and she spilled over the pot. One son's homosexual, which I love him. One's been in jail his whole life, pretty much, in and out. We have one son that's a pastor. Well, 2 sons that are pastors. One is in that club, and he's a Baptist pastor. And then the other one, my dad, he got delivered. So I was just thinking, I was like, she passed from Alzheimer's. So who knows, like...
Do you know that a lot of people that have been in those orders pass from that? A lot of them. Because my mom's, one of her best friends, she's been taking care of like rich old people for a long time, and she has the Holy Ghost. Well, when they're going like in and out of like dementia and all, they're kind of there, sometimes they're not there, whatever, they would go and they would start reciting their rituals, because it's like their mind is back when they're in the lodge, right? And they would start to recite these things, but when they would, spirits would show up, y'all, right before these people died. And I don't know, some of y'all medical field folks, a lot of those people, they die, from what I understand, they die kicking and screaming.
And that just leads me to believe, like, because you're doing all these things against God, at the end, you can't even, your mind is gone. You can't even, ask for forgiveness on a lot of things you've done if it's gone before you even ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And so you go however you go.
Yeah.
Right. Like my aunt was in there screaming, saying that they wasn't here, that they wasn't helping her. They're not helping her. And then she unalives from a heart attack. And I'm like, it was like literally like whatever was going on was trying to take her in a state of fear.
And think about the movie Ghost. They drugged that man down, everybody that did something crazy. And think about this. In order to do magic, you have to alter your mind. To astral project, you have to alter your mind to go to a different plane, because you're not even supposed to be there unless you're in the realm of worship, right? And God brings you to the, you know what I'm saying, to the Holy of Holies. You're not even supposed to alter your mind, because you have to alter your mind to do magic. What's the first thing they tell you? You have to calm your mind, right? And black it out. It can't be nothing there. You just got to focus on, and then the entity shows up. Well, God talks about an idle mind. You know what I'm saying? And what?
Devil's playground.
That's the whole premise of doing yoga and stuff. They're like, relax your mind, relax your body, and you're doing these contortions for an idol God, and they give you a sense of calm, but there's no peace, because Jesus is your peace.
Yeah.
So
you said real quick, my dad was scared in the hospital before he passed, and you said free your mind and the rest will follow. I'm sorry, I just want to read some of these comments because I've been missing them. Somebody else said something else that had everything to do with what we talking about. I think I missed it over here. Sorry to everybody. Cornell said, tell them Page Master always made me love reading after I saw that movie. And then Miss DeShannon said, oh, wow, my son keeps telling me that he is scared at 3 a.m. So I don't know what y'all was talking about over here. But about maybe spirits coming in the middle of the night or something. I don't know if y'all
the
had
3 a.m. was the Amityville horror thing. At 3 a.m. was when he kept getting woken up.
Oh, okay. 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 Well, this is the thing, y'all. I have enjoyed this conversation. I'm about to go lay down because I'm going on a lot of hours of being up, if it's okay. I have enjoyed it. I'm very grateful that y'all came up here on this panel because I knew that this conversation was going to take us a whole bunch of places. I knew it because there's too many things in there that tie into so much of our studies, right? So I'm very grateful that this is opening up think tanks. It's making people go back to certain things that have happened in their lives or certain instances that they've been in. Because again, um, what'd you say, the karmic law? They have to put out, and even if it's not completely the truth, it's gonna be a lot of it right there in front of you. It's cinema. Um, telling a vision, but it'd be a lot of truth. But this is why it's important too to know the truth so that way when you see it, you can see how the truth has been altered. But if you never read or studied, then you just think, okay, well, it has to be right because blase skip. But if you know the rest or where it really comes from or the etymology of it or whatever else it is, then you can understand whatever it is that you're looking at on a grander scale, right? And so I'm grateful to you all that you are studying and that you are learning and that you are understanding because not only is it going to help everybody in our community, but hearing these stories and seeing that the spiritual realm is real is going to help a lot of people know that they're not crazy, right? Because people tell you if you can see stuff and talk to stuff that ain't here, da da da, whatever, whatever. You said this was good. I'm going to start the show tomorrow for sure. Listen, and we ain't even touched the tip of the iceberg on all that's in there because it's so much information. But I'm grateful to y'all. I want to thank y'all for coming up. I want to thank you, everybody that came up. And maybe we can finish this again tomorrow. Y'all, Dean is super tired. It's been a crazy day. Plus, I need to go check on my nephew. He said, right, laugh aloud. My notes are on my phone, but I will write them down. Right. Right, Danny. Don't get your stuff down. And Nicole, I want to ask you one question, and I'm going to ask it in our way. Did you look up a patent for the formula you gave me? That came to my mind when I went in there to talk to my son. Is she asleep, Nicole?
A patent? No, but I can.
Can you look that up and see if there's a patent with any of that formula, and then get back with us tomorrow and let us know, or whenever you find the information? I ain't rushing you to have it tomorrow, but because when I was back there, it came to my mind that what if there's a patent for that?
I'm about to look it up right now.
That's gonna be crazy if it's a part of a patent, right? Which would make sense, and that goes along with what is in going on with Lyra, right? That would technically be how they was, you know. It's okay, Soroya. We'll do something tomorrow. You got it. He said, I'm going to a vintage market. I might stop by the bookstore. Cornell, if you don't go in there and see what they got for us, look, not you go in there and see what they got for the class. When you guys go book shopping, you're not just book shopping for yourself. You're book shopping so that we can all, uh, you know, get in here.
Oh,
right?
I have one more thing. That golden compass. I am at a dog sitting house. See, on the top of the CDs, it was the cover of a CD by Pearl Jam. Looks like that compass. So I implore you to go ahead and see what their CD, the actual art on the CD, looks
Do you
like.
know? Do you know exactly which? You said Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. Let me see if I can see which CD it is. Cause I walk by it, I'm like, what? I'm not sure. It doesn't say. Wait, hold on a second.
It looked like what? You said I'm looking at them right now.
It looks like the golden compass. How it had the symbols on it.
Okay, no, that one ain't here. I see this little CD. Gold thing, though.
Yeah, it's a white CD and it has like. It looks like I see some astrological symbols. I see there's a rat. I don't.
Interesting.
There's a woman on here. Different symbols. There's an eye. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. It almost looked like how in the beginning of the movie when the scarab beetle thing that they sent to go get the DNA. Remember, don't this look like that little thing? Remember, it was like fire on the inside. Y'all know
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
that's not the one.
No,
Oh no. Oh, you saw the other one?
no, I haven't seen the one that you're seeing. I see something that looks like, okay, so this is what I'm looking at right here. This is what came up. Pearl Jam albums ranked from
Here,
worst.
let me show you. I got the camera.
It does look like that scarab beetle though that they was using to spy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get the DNA.
Yeah.
I just found
This is what it looks
medication.
like.
Oh.
That is what the car
That's all the stuff that's on the Elite the Out. Girl, let me.
I snatched my neck to this. I was like, what the?
That's the CD, like that.
That's everything that's, yeah. The woman, the fish, girl, look.
That's why it won't show up on there, because it's the CD, not the cover of it. It's the actual CD.
So does this remind y'all of Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Sparrow's compass?
Oh,
Anything you
God.
want, anything that you want, and it could point you in that direction. It'll lead you to what you want or what you need.
The
Right, and then when
Elysium.
he told her about this, the Alethiometer, he was like, it tells the truth, basically. Like, I thought I was the only one who thought about that Pirates of the Caribbean, but clearly I was not.
So
Clearly.
that formula I told you, I just found some medicines linked to this formula. So it is a salicylamide, which is a derivative used historically as a pharmacological agent for analgesic or antipyretic, or an acetylsalicylamide, which is an anti-inflammatory or other related medicinal properties. So
So then there is a patent, because if it's in a medicine, that means the patent is hidden in the medicine.
oh my God.
And you have to think about it.
I'm sorry, I'm listening, but it just closed out my tabs that I was using to. It just closed my tabs.
Oh, I believe it. Because think about it. If there's a medicine, all medicine has to be patented, right? So that way they know if somebody's manufacturing it somewhere else or whatever. So they hid the patent under the medicine. An anti-inflammatory, what do they say? Inflammation ages the cells, right? It degrades the cells very quickly. Why do
It keeps closing my tabs.
Yep, and now they making me verify. I told you, girl, when I went back there, something said look up a patent, and we found it. You found it. We found it together. Interesting. Just stay away from there, real quick. Just go back to it another day. Because you have to think they didn't mark nobody else on here. You're the reason we got the thing, and they asked me that I want you to be out. And the other day when you gave us the calculation that you gave us, remember what happened with the live, and then ever since then we ain't been able to get more than like 40 or 50 people in here. So just know that they watching.
The album's name is No Code.
No Code.
Yes.
Thank you.
So that's just something interesting.
How is it that all of this stuff is fake, but it just keeps showing up? Interesting.
Did y'all catch? I was about to leave. I just wanted to say, did y'all catch how he was like, how they thought Lyra had left or whatever, and then when they found out that she had went there willingly, and how her daddy was like, this proves, like he was so hyped about the fact that if she frees them, kind of like the Egypt, how Moses led the people out of. That's kind of how. Did y'all pick that up?
Well, you know what I was thinking was about. I didn't think about Moses, but I thought about how Jesus, how they tried to mimic how Jesus brought all of the people out of hell and
That's
took
I
them.
saw that. Yeah, that part too. Yes. Yes.
That
For sure.
came to my mind, like they trying to make it like, because remember Jesus, he walked into hell, right? And then he walked out with the people that had been dead, but now they weren't dead, they're back alive again, right? But remember, the demons was fighting over them and trying to keep them there. Remember, because that's when they had the conversation, like we told you he was coming, David was there, all these people was there. That's what had came to my mind, that you know, when Jesus came, they came back to life in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, the color and stuff had started coming back in their face when they was listening to her memories about when she was talking to that boy. But I did not think about them leading out the captives as far as Moses and the people in Egypt. I didn't think about that, but maybe I should have. Because
I mean, it's both though. You definitely right. They were definitely mimicking, trying to about when Jesus went to hell, right? Of course. And I did pick that up, but I did get the whole leading them out of Egypt, like, you know, walking around and like, yeah, I did get that, a little piece of it.
Wandering in the desert. I mean, and if you think about it, they were bound. They couldn't, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't worship. They couldn't. It was like they was just under oppression. And think about it. There was harpy gods in Egypt.
Yeah, sure were.
And they were harpies that was coming to torment them in that place, wasn't it? Okay.
It was telling them, because when Lyra and Will was there, telling them all these different things to get them to believe. Yeah, torment of the mind, like how we talked about the different levels in the torture and torment.
Torture and torment. Yep. Well, listen, y'all. I love y'all. I'm about to go to bed because I feel myself getting a little sleepy. I'm about to go warm up my fish I made last night and put it back in its grease. And then I will talk to y'all in the morning if it's okay, or tomorrow later. You know, later on today, technically. Oh, it's only 11:30, so. And then we can go back in to whatever y'all want to talk about. It's fine either way, because I think we gonna be going spiritual more than what's the name. So I'm excited to see what the conversation be. Some people couldn't get in tonight, so I love y'all and thank you to everybody that participated. And I'm about to go get in my bed. I'm gonna eat and then I'm gonna get in my bed. Okay, I love y'all. I will see everybody later.